Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Friday. What a great Friday it is as well. We have spring. Spring has sprung. I'm super pumped about that. It's going to be 80 degrees this weekend. Basketball is going on. There's baseball being played. And I think we can look towards this weekend and be pretty pumped about it. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. A reminder, if you're headed out for lunch, maybe dipping out early from the office today, 97.1 FM Talk, of course, anywhere you are driving around in the car, but stream us live on the Odyssey app. We love to keep you company there. You can keep us in crystal clear connection anywhere you go. Yesterday, there was a joke that was said. I don't know. Maybe you don't think it was a joke. Have you heard about the Pearl Harbor comment made by the president yesterday? Now, you're thinking, if you haven't heard this yet, then you probably don't, spend a lot of time on Blue Sky. But if you aren't aware of what happened yesterday, the president of the United States had welcomed the Japanese prime minister to the White House and lots of dignified meetings and meals and all of that stuff. But it always starts with like a bilateral meeting in front of the press. And President Trump sits down, they take a bunch of pictures, they shake hands for a weird amount of time so everybody gets their photo in, that type of stuff. Then they sit down in their gold-clad chairs with the gold-clad fireplace behind them and sit and they answer questions. It's always interesting to me when this happens. You have world leaders sitting there, very powerful men and women who come sit in that seat, and a lot of the press spends their time asking President Trump about stupid hoaxes and conspiracies and things that, to me, do not feel incredibly respectful to the time of the world leader sitting generally to the president's right. Well, yesterday, the Japanese prime minister at the White House, these two are buds. They love each other, and they've had a great working relationship so far. And you can tell that President Trump feels pretty comfortable around the Japanese prime minister, and she feels pretty comfortable around President Trump as well. So when you have the press sitting in the Oval Office or standing in the Oval Office asking them questions, it's generally speaking the American press that is permitted to go into the White House Oval Office. And then it's the Japanese press or whichever country is in town for a visit at that point. So the Japanese press is in the Oval Office as well. Here is a question and a response from the president that was offered yesterday, about 24 hours ago from right now.
Japan and U.S. are very good friends, but one question, why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. When we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? He's asking me. No, you believe in surprise, I think, much more so than us.
Okay. President Trump said that. I heard yesterday that he had said something about Pearl Harbor. I hadn't heard what it was, and I immediately was doing the wincing face, which... the emoji where you show all the teeth. I was like, oh no, what did he say? And then I went back and listened to it, and I was still wincing a little bit. He's definitely joking when he says that. He's chuckling when he says that. But if you watch the video and you see the Japanese prime minister, I cannot tell because I don't know her. I don't know her facial expressions. I don't know how to read her. I would say Japanese people generally present themselves. Ryan, you've been to Japan multiple times, and you have friends that live over there. I mean, they're kind of a stoic people. They're not overly emotionally expressive like Americans are.
Yeah, extremely polite.
Yes.
All the best adjectives you can add to a people.
So you're saying you could insult one right right there to their face, and they would probably handle it better than most Americans.
They're not going to show it.
So the question for our YouTube poll today is, how do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke, it was an unfunny joke, or you thought it was tasteless? I was going to put in there that it was serious, but I just couldn't even.
It's not serious.
I don't even want to give you 3% the opportunity. You got to pick something else. You're fine with tasteless. I already know it. Was it funny?
The problem is, it was funny, but I don't think it was funny in the way Trump intended. It was funny because
we're laughing at him.
It was tasteless. So it was highly tasteless in my opinion. And yet because of that, I'm laughing. Just like when you hear a really inappropriate joke from a comedian, you're like, "Oh, could he say that?" And then you laugh.
I'm like, I guess he did.
That's what that was.
JD Mock comments on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, "It was hilarious. I laughed my butt off." There are a lot of people who are laughing. I think if you go back, and I'll play it for you here real quick, just towards the end. I think at the end, Trump realizes, all right, that didn't take.
Land.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell
There's a laugh, and then there's kind of it's the everybody looking around the room going, are we laughing? Are we laughing? Are we taking this serious? Are we mad? What are we doing?
me about Pearl Harbor? Okay.
The Japanese prime minister sits up, takes a deep breath. You can see her shoulders go up and go back, and she just sits there in a way that is like, okay. I don't know what's going to come next here, like a atomic bomb joke. Is that going to be the next one that's going to be levied back if the Japanese prime minister did that? We'd be in a reality that I am unfamiliar with. But here's more. Listen to people. People did laugh in the press in the room there, but not the entire time.
Right? You know, he said
that little chuckle right there.
That's the one.
When you tell a joke and you're like,
right?
Ooh.
Flavin'.
And then
this could be. No, you believe in surprise. I think much more so than us.
it's very quiet in there.
Yes.
It got very quiet.
He can read a room. He knew. Whoops. Swing and a miss.
It's a 2-drink minimum joke.
I agree.
Maybe 3.
He needed to liquor up that room.
Hard to tell. The one thing that I do find refreshing about the whole circumstance, the context of everything that surrounds the Pearl Harbor blip, if you will, is that the prime minister, they had dinner last night. These two are buddies.
Yeah.
They have BFF necklaces that they're wearing. They're fine with each other. So I don't think that the president destroyed our relationship with Japan because of this joke. And I wouldn't be surprised if people are going to make hay out of this come next week, and I don't think that they will, if the Japanese prime minister actually made a comment that was like, relax. Just something that says, we're good. We love our American allies. We have a war going on. We have a government shutdown. We have Republican senators on the Senate floor that are talking about the Save America Act. There are a lot of big things that are going on, but they're the same things that have been going on for a long time. There aren't a lot of brand new, fresh news stories, except for maybe the passing of Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal, isn't it?
86 years old. That's a good life.
Hadn't heard from him in a few years. Wondered if he was doing all right.
But I'm looking at through the news stories today, and I'm listening to Fox News, and they're covering President Trump, who's got, the Navy at the White House because I guess they won Army-Navy football game or whatever it was, and it's just like, this is a Friday after. This Friday afternoon seems to be for spring. Take us outside with you. Put us in your earbuds. Open up the Odyssey app. Hang out with us this afternoon, and we'll get through the day.
One more thing to add to that comment before we move on. When he says, "Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?" He was not alive.
Somebody was talking about, that's a great point, because I've seen a lot of people on the left were citing how many years Pearl Harbor happened before the prime minister was born. And everyone's like, so
yeah,
we could do the obviously.
It was obviously a joke. And your context of, look, these two these two people are very good friends. They clearly are. The things that she was saying about him before and after this glowing. I mean, they are buddies. They are working hand in hand on lots of things.
This is an interesting comment from the YouTube. Mr. Hoff said, number one, it was funny. Number two, when you are a victim, you can joke about things the way the aggressor maybe can't. So,
okay.
Maybe the fact that Pearl Harbor was an attack on us gives you the little leash to feel comfortable making that joke. However, I just thought, like, let's not compare what we're doing to Pearl Harbor. I don't want to be like, oh, so you think that what the United States isn't doing in Iran is the same as Pearl Harbor? We all know how that woke up the sleeping giant. Let's not do that one.
Yeah.
That was my biggest problem with it. Of a few. But I just thought unforced error at worst.
Yeah, at worst.
At worst.
At worst. This is something that the people who hate him are going to get really upset about as usual. And I heard this yesterday. I had forgotten about it by today. So
it makes you raise your eyebrows.
Yeah.
And look around the room because you want to see what other people are doing.
Exactly. Which is what that kind of joke from a stand-up comedian does. Not that I'm saying he should be doing that.
No, he's the president of the United States sitting with the prime minister of Japan.
But same type of joke.
Yeah, I do not need the president to be offering any retractions for his statement there. I would like to know. I would like the Japanese prime minister to comment on it. I just am curious what she has to say about it. I just want to know. When we come back, Joe Cangas is going to join us. He's with Helmets First. This is this month's 97.1 FM Talk in Action effort. Go to helmetsfirst.com to learn a little bit more about it, and Joe Cangas will give us all the details next. Don't go away.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Join the Missouri Department of Transportation for the Work Zone Awareness 5K on Saturday, April 25th. Lace up your running shoes and help spread an important message. Slow down and stay alert in work zones. Every mile supports raising awareness to keep highway workers and drivers safe across Missouri. Bring your friends, bring the family, and be a part of a community that's running for safety. Register today and learn more at modot.org. And we'll see you at the starting line for the Work Zone Awareness 5K, April 25th. Drive smart, slow down, save lives.
There's no better way to upgrade your backyard than by calling my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck Company. Mark Cox here, locally owned and operated for 58 years now, and it is a sign you have the very best because they're so proud of what they do. They offer fences, of course, and decks, and sunrooms, and screen rooms, and patios, retaining walls, and so much more. Chesterfield Fence and Deck takes so much pride in what they do because they've done it for so many people. When they come over to your house, they'll give you a free estimate, no obligation, free project design. They'll take out their digital photo gallery of completed projects and let you see what other people are doing, and then you can make it your own. When they do their work, they give you a 5-year labor warranty and a comprehensive material warranty, and they're highly rated with the Better Business Bureau, of course. Reach out to them today. Tell them you heard about it from Mark Cox. You're going to get 48 months interest-free financing on your next project. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us on a beautiful, absolutely beautiful spring afternoon here in St. Louis. It might be a great day for a bike ride We want to bring our next guest on the show with us. Joe Cangas joins us from Helmets First, our 97.1 FM Talk in Action partner for this month. Joe, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today. It's great to talk with you.
It's my pleasure. And I agree. A great day to be outside and go for a bike ride and go on a safe bike ride, of course.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I got 4 kids myself. I grew up in the 90s, and we didn't wear bike helmets. Fortunately, generationally speaking, we've learned a lot of lessons since then, and I rarely see kids out there without bike helmets. But it is an important part of enjoying the beautiful outside and getting kids off the devices, out of the house, and on the bicycles. Talk to us about the efforts with Helmets First.
Oh, absolutely. And I agree. Like growing up, I didn't wear a helmet. I think it was college, and I had a little crash, and I went over the handlebars, and I landed on my shoulder, and I was like, "Whoa, that was awful close to my head. Maybe I should start wearing a helmet." And I did. And then as a pediatrician, obviously, I saw a number of head injuries for a number of different reasons. I don't know that I ever saw a bicycle-related head injury, but horses and four-wheelers and lots of others. My first job, I was over in Salem, Illinois, and that was in about 2004. And as I was driving back and forth to work each day, I really saw no helmets. And I was like, oh, I should probably do something about that. Yeah. And it kind of started as a small adventure to go to the school to talk to the kids about wearing bicycle helmets, and evolved into how can I get them to wear helmets. And also then after talking to a lot of parents in the exam room, a lot of them would say things like, yeah, we didn't wear helmets when we were kids. They just ride around our neighborhood. Lots of comments of reasons why they might not think that they needed to wear a helmet. So I realized they probably weren't going to go buy them a helmet as well. So I got my employer to buy my first 100 helmets and went to a kindergarten class and talked to them about bicycle helmet safety. And then thought, how can I get them to wear them? And so started partnering with the police department there in Salem, and they would give the kids prizes when they saw them wearing their helmets. So kind of just started there and evolved into what it is today, where we partner with about 30 police departments around the St. Louis area and give away, a couple thousand helmets a year. I think I've done over 40,000 helmets last I checked over the last 20 years. So it's been good fun. Like you said, it's a nice, easy thing to do. Put that bicycle helmet on, just like the seatbelt, just get in that habit. And, if kids are like my kids, now they see a kid not wearing a helmet, they're like, oh, look, Mom, they're not wearing a helmet. Look, Dad, they're not wearing a helmet. So it does just become a habit for them.
Yeah. Helmets First is the name of the initiative. You can go to helmetsfirst.com. Talk to me a little bit more about partnering with the local police. You mentioned the Salem Police Department there, but it's always really awesome. You talked about the police being able to reward seeing kids with that are wearing their helmets. Every one of those positive interactions between a police officer and a kid, those are so incredible and so important in our communities. How have the police departments been able to help support this effort?
And yeah, completely agree with that. And that was one of the best parts about starting that program. And the Salem police were just so excited to be able to be the good guys. They talk about times when they're at McDonald's and a parent's like, you don't behave, this police officer can come arrest you, things like that. And they're like, we don't want to be the bad guys. And be able to build that positive relationship with youth and with families in general, I think is a great impact that Helmets First can have. That wasn't an intended impact when I started the program. And yeah, anytime I talk to a police department, they just love the idea of being able to add that to what they do with their communities. And there's a whole range of what police departments do. I have police departments who just have a few at their station, and when someone needs a helmet, they give it to them. I have some officers who put them in the car, and then when they're out in communities, they give them away. Some will save the helmets that I give them for an event that they have coming up in the community, and oftentimes I'll go out with them and help them fit those helmets for that event. And there's only a handful doing the rewards program with me right now, but like you said, I think that's a great next step, a great way to improve that relationship. Even 20 years ago when I started the program, those police officers were really excited about that opportunity. But as the state of the world and our defund the police and all the wonderful things we get to deal with in our communities, it's a nice opportunity for them to really have a positive interaction and continue that.
Yeah, Joe, this is Ryan. I was actually going to ask you about that very thing, because it sounds like it's gone a little bit beyond just the helmet program that you initiated at first. Now this seems like it's a goodwill program that actually brings a kind of a way to the community, to the police to the community through the helmet. Yes, of course, but it's a good positive PR thing for police.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it's just a great opportunity for them to have a positive interaction, to have happy moments with children, happy moments with families. The kids, can start looking forward to seeing the police coming down their street and not be stressed if someone has taught them to be, scared of police, which happens sometimes. I think there's just so many ways that it's a positive impact in the community.
We're speaking with Joe Cangas with Helmets First. You go to helmetsfirst.com, our 97.1 FM Talk in Action partner this month. If there are people who want to support what you're doing right now or maybe get involved in any possible way, are you asking for the community's support in Helmets First's effort?
Always, absolutely. Every year it gets a little harder to get the funds for the helmets, and kind of my main job right now is doing the fundraising, being the face of Helmets First, and getting out there and trying to find those funds to buy helmets. Average helmet price for me right now is about $13 a helmet. So every $13 gets a new helmet on a head. There's very, very little else that the money goes towards. A little bit of administrative fees, but overall everything goes to buying helmets for kids. And so donations are always welcome. Helmetsfirst.com is the best place to go do that. And there's an email link to me if you have questions looking for helmets for an event. If there's a police department that I'm not partnering with that wants to partner with me, or fire departments, really any public service organization like that, I think are a great opportunity to partner with Helmets First and continue to improve relationships and to get helmets on heads.
Yeah. And get outside, kids and adults. And adults should wear helmets too. Certainly, when they
as
ride
I'm
their
sitting
bikes.
inside watching basketball for the next few days, I feel the same way. I need to move a TV outside.
There you go. Just put the TV up towards the window and sit outside and get some vitamin D. I can't wait for it. Got baseball this afternoon. Joe Cangas, thank you for partnering with us here at the radio station and for giving us the opportunity to get the message out about Helmets First. And please let us know if there's anything else we can do for you.
I sure will. Thank you so much for all of your support and getting the word out. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Joe Cangas with helmetsfirst.com. It's a pretty cool thing. Did you wear a helmet when you were a kid? Did you ride your bike a lot?
I rode my bike all the time.
Was it not the key to freedom as a kid?
Yeah, that was it. I couldn't believe when I heard sometimes that now kids don't care about learning to ride a bike.
We have purchased the big Christmas present or the big birthday present. We have probably purchased our first two kids new bikes every time that was like, okay, you were too big to ride the other one. They didn't ride them.
Mine too.
But, where I live. They can ride in the driveway, but our road was too busy for them to ride. I would never have let them.
And we have a similar situation.
So it's like, okay, where do you go? Now we've got this nice bike path that we can access. And so now I'm thinking, like, maybe it's bike time again. And they're older. That whole idea of a parent with the kid on the back, and all I'm imagining is getting just far enough away for everything to melt down, and then I'm having to literally pedal my way back to home.
Isn't biking the thing that spring makes you think the most, oh, that's a project I'd like to embark on?
Yes.
But then do you do it? I mean, during COVID, we kind of got our bikes working again.
Sometimes. I need a bike seat that is comfortable. The bike seats that I've had mountain bikes in the past. I want one of those big old bikes with a big seat.
A lazy boy.
On it. I want it to be really cushy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need to make sure that my kids can keep up with me. I would rather take a walk than ride a bike if I'm going by myself. I think it's something that Jared and I would probably like to do eventually one day when we have time to ourselves.
That's what I always think too.
If we're still mobile.
I've done it so many times.
So we'll just have to get on our two-wheeler bikes and our wheelchairs and just have our grandkids push us. I don't know.
I've told myself that so many times though now and not done it that I'm like, you're not going to do it when you're 55 and you're an empty nester either.
We're going to have to do things.
We're going to have to do something.
There's something is going to have to
happen. Maybe it
happen.
ends up being that finally.
I'm going to sit for a week and have my own time. And then I'm going to want to do something. And I was thinking about this. There's a story I don't know if I saved it or not. I didn't know which way to go with it because I didn't find it to be entirely, it was kind of depressing. But it was talking about how post COVID, when we've moved away from the workplace, that people who retire when they leave the workforce, you start realizing that all of your social interactions kind of towards the end of your career have really revolved around routine, and how, these people that you're around that you really like, they're your coworkers, but when you retire, you just don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of routine. You talk to them, you text them, but then you do it a little bit less, then you do it a little less, then pretty soon before you know it, it's like, yeah, you just lose touch or whatever. I assume that I look at my parents and my in-laws are in their 70s and they come to our kids' stuff all the time, or their other grandkids' stuff. But I have to ask, like, what do I want to do when I get that I can do? Maybe all I want to do is chase around grandkids. I hope I have some, but maybe I'll want to have my time. I don't know. It's just, every night is a sporting event, a practice, a game, a volunteer obligation, got to get homework done. I'm not mad at any of it. It's not to complain about any of it. I actually do. You see those? Do you get those posts where like, oh, you're going to miss it when it's gone?
Yes, I get those posts.
So you're
not
like,
as often as you probably do.
You're
but.
well, it's because I'm a girl. They prey upon women on the algorithms. But you spend you're sitting there and you're kind of at your wit's end at like 8:30 at night, and then you open your phone and they're like, you're gonna miss this, and you're like, okay, fine. I can't do anything right, because if you feel a little at the end of your rope, at the end of the day, the algorithm's like, are you not appreciating this? And it's like, yes, I am appreciating it. I'm tired. I just want to go to bed.
And also, you deserve rest and should be getting more rest.
Okay.
There's
true.
Advice across the board that contradicts itself.
Yeah. But I imagine, there's a lot of things that I think about, even with Molly being 4 years old now. That's an enormous amount more freedom than you're a little bit further away from 4, but I have an older one than you, so you're not quite into the child who's driving themselves and doesn't need you to go to places and be at places. And every day he gets out of school and he calls me and he's like, hey, Mom, done with school. And I'm like, all right, how was your day? And he tells me it was good every day. He's a boy. It's fine. It's good.
That's nice.
And then he goes, need anything? He wants to go to the store.
Okay.
Remember wanting to run errands?
I do. I used to want to go to Kmart all the time because they had.
So it was your fault.
What? That it went out of business?
Yeah.
No, I was shopping there. I would go there if anybody needed anything, because while I'm here, I might as well grab a candy bar.
That's the most Ryan Wiggins thing I've ever heard.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
He wants. He's got his freedom now. I appreciate it because I hear kids don't want their license these days. That blows my mind. It's one of the top. I'll have to think about this. I want to say top 5 best days of my life was getting my license. I'm going to count all my kids' births as one.
One day?
Well, that's 4 kids plus a marriage.
Yeah, giving them too much credit.
My 6th best day of my life. Yeah, I don't know. Brad, were you a bike rider?
Yeah, I grew up in the country, so if I needed to get anywhere close to town, it was via bike. So we just rode around back roads, on farm roads and stuff like that, and had a blast doing it.
You wear a helmet?
No. my head was my helmet.
I don't think anybody wore helmets.
Nobody
It just
did back
didn't
then.
do it.
Now you do. Everybody does.
All right. Well, let's take a break here. The YouTube poll for today. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke. It was an unfunny joke, or you think it was tasteless? You go to the Annie Fry YouTube YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AnnieFry, and you can vote in the live chat of the live broadcast. You can also text us your thoughts, 314-241-9797. I'm thinking if we get some good text here, I'm thinking about opening the phones on Pearl Harbor at 105. So you'll want to stick around for that. Andy comments on YouTube, tasteless. It was completely unrelated to the topic. He's supposed to be the deal maker, right? Is the best way to make deals to mock your counterpart? That's what Andy thinks on the YouTube channel. What do you think? Go comment. We'll be back in a minute.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430. 6430.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Our YouTube live chat poll today is, how do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke, it's an unfunny joke, or it's tasteless. How about this comment from the text line, 314-241-9797, said, I didn't think it was such a joke. I found it ironic, making the point that it's unwise to tip your hand about military action. What do you think? Let us know, and you can text in that same number, 314-241-9797 if you'd like. It is 12:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
When was the last time we played a clip from The View?
It's been a few weeks.
I never play clips from The View when I want to debate them. I only want to make fun of them. The only reason to put The View on this show is to mock them, right?
Yeah, I don't really see them making salient points.
Is anybody listening to the show to have a good debate with Joy Behar? No.
Not really.
You want to laugh at him?
Yeah.
Happy Friday, people. It's spring. Let's bring some joy into the room. Okay. And by joy, I mean Joy Behar. Sarah Eisen, what is she? She's CNBC, right? I think she's a CNBC. I don't have it here. Hold on. Let me look it up. I think she's a CNBC. Twitter says CNBC anchor Sarah Eisen. So CNBC is traditionally much more dollar focused, much less politics focused compared to MSNBC now. Correct? Was that a fair statement?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
CNBC is more fair than MSNBC was.
Yeah, it's more fair. Yeah, it is. It still leans left, but
Sarah Eisen is an anchor there, and so she's on The View from CNBC, and she wants to talk about Trump accounts.
Okay.
How do you know that the Trump accounts are good policy? Listen to the ladies of The View.
You have to separate the character from the policies. And there are policies that this administration has done.
All right.
Do you guys know about Trump accounts?
Yes.
It's really interesting.
You know,
so every baby born in this country, every baby, no matter what income level, now qualifies for $1,000 in the S&P that they can hold until they're 18.
Okay.
That is a transformational policy to help people be a part of the system.
What disappoints me about this entire conversation.
Okay, so before Joy Behar makes her points, do you hear her? She's just explaining Trump accounts. And she even says, you even hear Sarah Eisen say, you have to separate basically the person you hate from the policy. So she kind of throws them a little bone there to say, I know we think he's trash, but he might have a good idea every once in a while. A broken clock is right twice a day. So in the background, you hear Joy Behar, you hear, what's her face?
Whoopi.
Sunny Hostin. Man, why are these people have the most happy names? Whoopi, Sunny, Joy. They are not happy people.
Mm-hmm.
They're miserable people.
There was Megan. They got rid of her because her name was too normal.
Yeah, exactly. Her name should have been Flower. So you hear him in the background, and you hear the CNBC lady explaining Trump accounts and just the facts of the matter. She's not lauding the amazing Donald Trump. She's saying, listen to what a Trump account is. And in the background, you hear all those women going, okay, all right. Trying to move this story along. Then you hear Joy Behar here say, all right, but the point that I want to make is, in reaction to Trump accounts on The View.
What disappoints me about this entire conversation is that there is no effort put into solar energy. The sun is there. There's not a lot of money to be made, maybe. And that's why, Trump's...
What? Screw the babies. She just said there's no money being put into solar energy and there's not a lot of money to be made, but the sun is there?
She also starts it by saying, what disappoints me most about this conversation. So referencing the conversation about Trump accounts, she's saying we aren't talking about solar energy enough in that conversation. Okay.
Points me about this entire conversation is that there is no effort put into solar energy. The sun is there. There's not a lot of money to be made, maybe, and that's why. Trump says windmills. I never understood wind. He goes.
She said, criticizing, and I love when Trump goes in on a good windmill bit. Honey, the wind isn't blowing. That's what he always says.
What did he say? I never understood wind. They're noisy windmills. They kill birds. You want to see a dead a bird graveyard? Look under a windmill.
Is that untrue?
As far as I know, that is true.
Does she not care about the birds?
She does not yet, but I'm willing to hear her out.
I think he's worried more about his hair than anything else here.
There you go. Now we're getting to the substance of the matter. She just took us on a journey where she said, the real disappointment about Trump accounts is that we're not funding solar, even though there's no money to be made. Who cares if there are dead birds? Trump doesn't want you to think about anything but his hair. They're just like walk, squawking, making noise until the show is over, which sometimes we do on Fridays.
Look, I apologize, but I think when I hear somebody like that talk, I think we should put her on national television for 35 years and let her talk policy to the American people.
You know what this world needs? Joy Behar.
But, well, can I just add one more?
It's like the people in the audience are like, clap, please clap.
The sign says it.
That would be one of the solutions to this problem.
Well, to push back,
we defend on foreign oil and then we bomb the countries that supply it for the rest of the world. Yeah,
not for us.
What?
To the rest
There's
of the world.
something crazy going on that could be solved.
It's the weave.
That's not the weave. That's the booze.
Are we missing something?
Clearly.
Was there a bigger conversation that was happening here before?
She was reading that off of note cards.
She was. Yeah, you can't see that.
She
but when
picked
you
it up
watch
to say, I don't understand wind. Then she put her paper down.
She did. This conversation was going into something that Trump had done that was, I wouldn't even say a positive for them, but at least not a net negative. Like, she wasn't saying, this is the most amazing thing ever. She's just, from a business standpoint, saying this is a way for people to actually participate in the economy.
Yes.
Okay,
CNBC literally talking about giving babies thousands of dollars. And Joy's like, I just think we should be talking about solar. She didn't even argue the point against the Trump accounts because no sane person would do that on a daytime talk show talking to women.
Yeah, about giving money to their babies. But she does. She picks up a piece of paper and goes, well, what disappoints me most about this conversation is the lack of talk about solar.
Oh, crap. That was supposed to be in segment 3.
Oh, wait a second.
I got the wrong segment card here. Whoops. Anyway, Trump sucks. He's obsessed with his hair.
What's up with this guy's hair? Am I right?
Say
Am
no
I right?
more.
Hey.
Everybody clap. Please clap. Like barking seals in the audience there at The View. Who are those people? I know
Who are
they're.
these people?
It never fails. Back in a minute. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Reach out to Matt Hayes. He's ready for your phone call. 314-271-9900. That's the number to reach Matt Hayes and his great team for your foundation repair needs. I think it's really cool to be able to partner with people who just grew up from the bottom up here in St. Louis. He's got a ton of experience with foundation repair and a strong and loyal team that likes to be at Home Shield Foundation Repair because they know they do the best work. They're going to deliver the customer service that people are looking to hire, and it's great job security. 314-271-9900. When you work with Matt Hayes and his team, you invite him to your house. You have him look at your basement. You've got water making its way into your home. You might not even understand exactly where the water is coming from. Matt Hayes and the Home Shield Foundation Repair folks, they're going to be able to help you get to the bottom of the problem and resolve it once and for all. And when you waterproof your basement with Home Shield Foundation Repair, it comes with a lifetime warranty. 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Jimmy Fallon in the house, and I cannot wait to see you finally, April 11th. Although we're not calling it a redo because we never did the thing in the first place. You can't have a sequel if you don't have an original. Get your tickets at 971talk.com/events.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to The Annie Fry Show.
The bee or not the bee?
The bee or not the bee?
As you were saying. This is the bee or not the bee, which is a segment we do every Friday where I read headlines. You have to tell me whether they are satire from the Babylon Bee or they are real headlines. And sometimes it's tough to tell the difference.
Sometimes.
Here's the first one.
I think it's harder to do the bee or not the bee when Joe Biden is president.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They did crazier things.
There's just goofier stuff that was happening. Although, tell me if this is real or not. California celebrates installation of single LA trash can that cost $400 billion and took 18 years to build.
Ooh.
Starting with a tough one.
I'm just praying that it's the bee.
What do you think, though?
Oh, this is real. This is real.
Okay. You're saying B, you're saying real.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Well, I was asking you what you thought.
I said B, right?
You said B. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is the B.
Good.
Thankfully. This is a fantastic achievement, and you should all be proud, Newsom said, as he gleefully cut the ribbon, officially opening the city trash can.
Does this guy do anything right?
I almost said you should all be droop. Sorry, I have dyslexia. Instead of proud,
yeah,
in reverse.
I get it.
Anyway, here's that trash can we promised. It's amazing what we can accomplish with your tax dollars, isn't it?
I keep hearing in my mind, what are we doing? What's going on? And if I could only laugh like Tucker. Who's that actor that did the Tucker parody?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Is his name Ami something?
That sounds right.
I've heard people go, Ami is great. But I don't know who Ami is. But I do know who Tucker Carlson was in the parody last week. Tops.
It was good.
What are we doing? What's going on?
Kozak. Ami Kozak.
Ami Kozak. I have a feeling we'll probably see the return of that character because it's been very popular.
That's the goal. That's the plan. I think that's what the other line is.
That's the plan. That's the goal now.
Yeah, the goal now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Let's just say that all the time. And I said it at home, and Jared looked at me like I was saying it rudely to him. I was like, oh, no, I'm just doing an impersonation.
Just
of an
doing
impersonation.
a bit of a bit.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Next one. Jim Crow 2.0 shouts Chuck Schumer.
Real.
While being escorted out of Costco for not having a membership card.
Tracks. The B?
B.
Yeah, this is the B. After refusing to show his membership card, Schumer was escorted out of the store by Costco security guards. He could be heard yelling loudly in the parking lot about the, quote, injustice of having to show an ID.
You a Costco member?
No, I've never been.
Ever been? No? Brad?
Sam's Club.
No, never been.
Yeah, Sam's.
It was just not a Costco close enough to us.
No.
On the east side. I had a friend, though. Actually, it's my friend who lives in Japan. The minute he loved Costco so much, they would make trips there every weekend, his whole family. And then once he got to Japan, I'm like, what are you going to do now, Costco man? And he showed me a picture of himself at a Japanese Costco.
Costco?
They would make a trip. It's smaller in footprint, but taller. There's multiple floors.
Isn't that everything in Japan?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He said it's kind of hard to navigate that. Anyway, it says, quote, that Chuck Schumer said, "This is how fascism starts." At publishing time, Senator Schumer had also been kicked out of his local Baskin-Robbins for refusing to show proof that it was actually his birthday after getting a free scoop.
You get a free scoop on your birthday at Costco?
I don't know. No, at Baskin-Robbins.
Oh, Sam's Club has the best food deal out there. Do you know about this, right? You'd have to know about this. What is the deal?
It's a soda and a hot dog.
For $1.50?
Mm-hmm.
A soda and a hot dog for $1.50.
They also have ice cream that I think was $1.
They have good ice cream. Their soda,
Sundays.
you can't get a soda or a hot dog for $1.50 anywhere else.
You might be able to get a soda somewhere, but that's about it. You definitely can't get a hot dog.
Pretty
for
sure the
$1.50.
cans of soda at our concession stand for the baseball games are $2.
Well, that's pretty common. I think if you get the one right outside of Walmart, you might get lucky for a 99-center.
Sam Walton, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the place.
He knew what he was doing.
We don't shop at Sam's regularly, but we buy our dog food there, so we go there with that frequency and maybe some birthday cakes and stuff like that. But I can't go in there. I spend too much money.
I do too. And it's usually on mass quantity of things that there's no way I could actually consume.
I don't know.
Like
Jared,
sushi.
Jared does like stuff that's going to spoil.
Yeah, stuff that I was
going to say,
fast.
if I go to the store to buy paper towels because we're out of paper towels, I will buy the biggest package of paper towels that I can find because I don't want to have to buy paper towels again. I don't want to run out again. Jared doesn't do that. He's better at all of that stuff than I am because I'm just like, this is what we need. This is what we need. And he understands with frequency because he shops there what to get, which is why I can't, because then I come home and we have to find new storage places for all the extra paper towels.
That's what's hard. That's the goal now.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What's going on?
All right, next story. Conservatives who go to church are least likely to suffer mental illness.
That's got to be real. If it's not, no, that's real. That's just real.
Yeah, I think this is a real story.
This is a real story, and it's from a very reputable pollster, Pew study, 2020 study that they did, concluded that, and it's kind of making the rounds again recently for some reason. If you're a conservative and you're religious, you are the least likely type of person to be diagnosed with a mental illness. And if you're conversely, as per the study, if you are a liberal who skips worship, you are most likely to be diagnosed as mentally ill.
Well, I mean, let's secularize the conversation for just a second here. If you're going to church, that probably means, on the most part, that you have a belief in something bigger than yourself, that you are buying into, in some level of faith, something that is bigger than you, and honestly, something that's more hopeful than the alternative to it. I don't have anything that I am involved in that provides me that same sort of hope and peace that Scripture and going to church with my family and everything does. But just in the mental place of going somewhere, turning your faith over to something that is bigger and more important and comforting, I just think that it would be kind of obvious that would have a psychological benefit on you rather than everybody's facing, Christians that are going to church or people who are going into worship, they are experiencing the same world that everybody else is. So we're prone to having the same kind of worries that everybody else has. What do you do with those worries? And if you don't have a place to take those worries and lay them down, then I would think that would cause you more anxiety and more mental health struggles. Going to church gives you a repetitive place. I think maybe a secular way to do something like this is therapy, but there's not many people who go to therapy who like solve their problem. They end up having to persistently go to that to try to work through more things, and at the end of the day, it's just more and more problems that you're trying to work through. Nothing wrong with therapy, but you don't get hope from a therapist. You get explanations and conversation.
Hopefully you get healing, but if I were to not quote secularize the conversation, I would say, and I would advocate for Jesus all day, but not that he needs me to do that. But if you just have a belief in a higher power, and I'm not saying anything specific, I'm saying a higher power, you then can take the events of your day, of the world, whatever it is, and understand, you know what, I may not see it, but there's a plan.
Yeah.
And get peace from
context.
That.
Yeah.
So just that alone to me is invaluable, let alone all the other actual.
And if you didn't have that, you know, all three of us were all Christians. Ethan as well, if he were in here, so all four of us. But I think we probably all worship in different types of like denominations of Christianity. And the four of us, I'm sure, could sit down and debate theology and scripture and interpretation and that type of stuff. But if you don't have any of that and you're on the outside looking in, or maybe just on the outside not even looking in, where do you place all of those worries? Just kind of hold on to them, and that would make me anxious.
Yeah, exactly. Time for one more? I think so. Democrats expel Fetterman after repeated warnings to stop supporting America.
Prediction.
Real or fake?
Buzz. B.
B. It is the B. Ahead of his expulsion, Fetterman reportedly met with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer in a closed-door meeting, the subject of which was leaked by congressional aides. Quote, "Listen here, Frankenstein. You've got some." This is Chuck Schumer saying it, not me. You've got some nerve supporting America, and you're going to pay, see? Schumer allegedly said, "We vote on party lines here. Got it?" Schumer was expected to appoint an interim senator to take Fetterman's seat and get back to destroying the country as soon as possible.
You know what would be great is if John Fetterman, I don't want him to join the Republicans. I want him to try to start a new party. Like the Republicans are always trying to do. And I'm always like, don't do that. Fetterman needs to start a new common sense party in the Democrats. I don't care what you call yourself.
Okay.
What would the Fettermans be?
His party?
Yeah. Idea?
It would probably just be whatever Andrew Yang called it.
What was that, the Forward Party?
It was like, the Forward Party.
I don't know. It was so successful.
No labels. There was two of them.
That's even dumber. All right, go vote in the YouTube poll. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke, unfunny joke, or tasteless. We'll take your phone calls next if you want to get on the line. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
You live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Did you know replacing old vinyl windows with more vinyl windows might not be the best choice? Hi, it's Kim, and I'm here to tell you about Infinity from Marvin Windows, because these fiberglass windows, they're energy efficient, they're beautiful, and they're custom built to fit your home perfectly. The team at Lakeside Renovation and Design just makes the process so easy. I love the fact that they even offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Look, if you're tired of drafts, high energy bills, or maybe hard to open windows, now's the time to upgrade. Visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
It's that time of year to refresh those tired, stained, and worn-out carpets for spring. Call Carpet Guy Home Services with deals starting as low as $39.95. Our professional cleaning will bring your carpets back to life. For all your home cleaning services, schedule online at www.callcarpetguy.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
He says the U.S. is doing extremely well in Iran. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. As the conflict nears a fourth week, President Trump paints a strong picture of U.S. military achievements.
Their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft is all gone, it's all gone. Their radar is all gone. Their leaders are all gone. The next set of leaders are all gone. And the next set of leaders are mostly gone. And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore.
The president speaking to reporters at the White House today as he honored the U.S. Naval Academy football team. The U.S. launching strikes today along Iran's southern coast. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is in Dubai.
The Pentagon says A-10 Warthogs are now engaging targets along Iran's southern coastline in an attempt to open up the Strait of Hormuz.
And this as the Pentagon deploys more warships and Marines to the Middle East.
In San Diego, the USS Boxer setting sail with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, the Pride of the Pacific, bringing more than 2,000 Marines to the Middle East. It will take about a month to arrive.
The United Arab Emirates announced today it's broken up an Iran-funded terrorist cell. It's officially spring, but in the southwest U.S., it feels like a blistering summer. Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz.
Across portions of the desert southwest in California, where the heat has been extreme the last couple of days, we could see over 100 record-breaking highs.
Yesterday outside Martinez Lake in Arizona, the temperature soared to 110 degrees. That's the hottest March temperature on record for the U.S. And martial arts master and star of Walker, Texas Ranger Chuck Norris dies at 86.
'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon.
His family says he passed away suddenly yesterday in Hawaii, and that he lived his life with faith, purpose, and unwavering commitment. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The spring season is officially underway starting mid-morning today. Lots of sunshine. Doesn't really feel like spring. Almost feels like summer. Early summer anyway. 84 for the high. Tonight, mostly clear. Nice evening as we drop back into the 70s. 53 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny, 85. Cooler, 59 for the high on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. It's a beautiful Friday outside. Hopefully you're enjoying the show today on the radio, 97.1 FM Talk, while the windows are down. And a reminder, you can take 97.1 FM Talk with you on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Take us anywhere you go. You can go to the 97.1 FM Talk portion of the app. You can find the Annie Fry Show portion of the app. We'd love to keep you company. And thank you for keeping us company. You following, what is your exposure to Erica Kirk?
It's mostly through when crazy people comment on things she's doing and bring up conspiracies about her. And I shouldn't say entirely crazy people, because some people I know are not crazy, but they comment on her. But it's based on crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really anything Erica is doing herself. It's other stuff.
Yeah. I got a story here I'm going to dip into a little bit here. The Erica Kirk thing is so difficult to, I don't even want to say discuss, because I almost don't even, she's now the CEO of Turning Point, so she has an official position. She's relevant in that case, certainly. But to me, she's a widow first and foremost, in an unspeakable tragedy in Charlie Kirk's death last September. So stories kind of pop up about her, and, I'm curious about where you are on the Erica Kirk situation. So I'm going to read you the story here real quick. And if you wanted to get in line for phone calls, we're going to take a few phone calls here on the YouTube poll. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? 314-241-9797. A couple people calling in right now. We'll get to those here in a second. But first, I want to talk about this Erica Kirk story. Are you familiar with the clothing line Alo?
No.
ALO?
Never heard of it.
You guys aren't familiar with it?
No.
It's a high-end athleisure, very nice clothing, whatever. They're facing, this is a Fox News report by Brian Flood, potential legal trouble after Erica Kirk's clothing purchase history turned into viral smear. Listen to this. This is so crazy, especially knowing how Erica Kirk has been attacked here over the course of the last however many months. High-end athleisure brand Alo could face legal trouble after Turning Point USA CEO Erica Kirk's private purchase history was allegedly leaked and used to smear her. So this is what happened. This is what was found and leaked about Erica Kirk. A TikTok content creator recorded a now viral video this week claiming that he received an email from, quote, someone who works at Alo, who looked up Kirk's account. So somebody who worked there looked up her account and found that she spent over $1,000 the day after her husband was assassinated. The TikTok creator, who displayed the receipt online, mocked Kirk over the timing of the, quote, shopping spree. The influencer insisted that the leaked receipt would, quote, completely ruin Erica Kirk's entire story, and suggested that it proved she wasn't grieving the morning after her husband was assassinated. This account has 900,000 followers, and the video has been viewed over 8 million times. So somebody who works at this company looked up her account, saw a receipt for the day after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and released it to a TikToker who then made this public video. Now, here's the disgusting part, one of the disgusting parts of all of this. This is from McCoy, who is one of her assistants, Elizabeth McCoy. She's a TPUSA staffer. She said, quote, I was the one who made the Alo purchase in person in Utah. When we got the call that Charlie had been shot, we rushed from the office and into the airplane. We arrived in Utah with nothing but the clothes we were wearing. We were in those clothes all day at the hospital and slept in them that night. So right after Charlie Kirk is shot and Erica and the people who she's with, her staffers or whatever, get word that he has been shot and, of course, now we know assassinated, they do what anybody would do, drop everything and go. And then they're there in Utah for 24 hours or whatever without a change of clothes. So they go to a store. They later on go on here and say Aloe was down the street. McCoy says to accuse Erica or anyone else of entertaining a shopping spree hours after her husband was brutally murdered is cruel and vicious. This is a perfect example of if you were just to consume the first part of the story and you put yourself in Erica's shoes and you say, who would go on a $1,000 shopping spree the day after your husband is shot? First of all, their clothes is very expensive, like hundreds of dollars for a sweatshirt. So you could buy a full outfit for about that much money. If you're thinking to yourself, like, would I go shopping the day after my husband was shot? The answer is likely no. But come to find out that the person who released this to a TikToker who has 900,000 followers to smear Erica Kirk, to prove to everybody, now we have proof that Erica Kirk was never mourning, she was shopping. The explanation here by Elizabeth McCoy, the staffer who actually did the purging, is entirely sensible, makes complete and total sense, and vindicates Erica Kirk once again. And I have to ask myself, do these influencers, do these people, are they actually trying to prove a point about Erica Kirk, or is this just the easiest possible way to scoop up a bunch of likes and clicks and views, and then they just move on to the next thing?
That's got to be it, because this stuff is unceasing. The thing about her, I don't get the conspiracies that people love to attach to her. I do understand, though, that she seems like she's acting a lot. So, and I don't want to open that can of worms entirely, but when people criticize her and say, well, she just seemed like she's like putting on a show a little bit, she does kind of seem like that. But I also don't think she's doing so to be disingenuous. I think that's the way she's reacting to things.
Do people know how to react after their spouse is publicly assassinated? Everybody who's judging Erica Kirk on what she's doing, and I understand that we saw so much of her right away. That's how these things go. Everybody's free to make their own judgments, First Amendment. But is there a rule book? Is there an itinerary, a plan of what you're supposed to do when your husband is publicly assassinated, sitting there in a chair that he sat in many, many, many times, in a position to openly engage people who disagree with him in polite and respectful and helpful debate? Let's pass along the game plan of what you're supposed to do after your husband is publicly assassinated that way.
Andy's a public figure, and that makes you a public figure, because it's not just a grieving widow. You add all those layers to it, and there really is, you could count on one hand the amount of people that's ever been. That you are the widow of a public figure that was publicly assassinated. That's so rare that there is no boilerplate for this is how that looks. This is what you do now.
I'm trying to remember who it was that I read about Erica Kirk. Off the top of my head, I'm feeling like it's Dave Rubin, but that might not be correct. But they were talking about how what history knows Jackie Kennedy as is not really the same thing. And Camelot and all the palace intrigue that goes there. Prior to JFK's assassination, there was a different understanding of all of those things. That the assassination reframed everything, as it is going to obviously do, to give people an intrigue, an interest, a story to follow that reframes everything that you know about those people. The same thing that the analogy was drawn from Jackie Onassis and JFK to Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, and essentially saying that the way people are looking at Erica Kirk now is very similar to the way the country looked at Jackie O as a widow of an entire, a massively prominent figure. And, we could argue back and forth and it would be useless and there's no way to prove that anyone's right or wrong at the same time. JFK is the president of the United States, and there were so fewer public figures at the time of JFK, kind of less competition for the people's attention and way less ways to consume whatever is chosen and selected to be put in front of the public. If you consider how much more competition there is in 2025 and the work you have to do to really cut through the masses to be the type of public figure, the influential figure that Charlie Kirk was, Charlie Kirk may have had a bigger footprint potentially than JFK at the time, at least nationally. And then to watch that happen in front of our eyes, there's no way that you're not going to get the entire world just pivots and looks at Erica Kirk like, what are you going to do next? Because everybody is looking at her thinking, what would I do next? How would I handle this situation? And it turns out a lot of people might handle it a little bit differently than Erica Kirk, but that doesn't mean that Erica Kirk is doing it wrong. And I just don't understand the obsession or the infatuation with it. Like, if it's not for you, if you don't like the dabbing of the eyes or whatever, folks, I'll tell you this right now. She's dabbing her eyes because she's wearing makeup. She is probably always one blink away from tearing up. And she is somebody who was a beauty queen. She competed in beauty pageants, was successful at it. Wasn't she Miss Arizona or something like that? Did you know that?
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah, she's beautiful, and she was a beauty competitor. She's going to have an expectation of herself when she's out in front of everyone, and she's dabbing her eyes because she's wearing mascara, she's wearing eyeliner. I'd like to know what kind of mascara and eyeliner that she uses, because it usually does not run. Oh my gosh. But it's incredible to look at what the world is doing around Erica Kirk and consuming the judgment and the hatred and the vitriol towards her. That is, to me, it's all entirely placed towards Charlie Kirk, and Erica is now just the one who has to be the backstop. Let's take a break. The YouTube poll for today: how do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? We'll be right back.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call Zero Res today. Mark Cox here. It's the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season coming up. This month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love it when you buy your favorite coffee or soda and you get a free size upgrade? That's what Zero Res is doing with this whole home air duct cleaning package. You pay less for more fresh. Go online at ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to hear you.
Hey, Dad, isn't it good to see ya?
Yep, but with smoke alarms, we need to hear them. If one alarm is downstairs, you might not hear it upstairs.
At school, everyone hears the fire alarm.
That's why we install hardwired smoke alarms that all go off together, just like school.
Smoke alarms done the right way.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Yeah, military life can have its challenges, but sometimes veteran life brings more. While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My name is Greg Gadsden, 26-year Army veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
DAV helps veterans like me get all the benefits they've earned, and that can be a life changer.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won. With the right support, there are no limits.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Greg Gadsden, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
If I could be you,
and you could be me for just 1 hour,
if you could find a way
To get inside
each other's mind,
walk a mile in my shoes, walk a mile in my shoes,
walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out, and for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We got a YouTube poll up for you today, and it's about the president's comments about Pearl Harbor. Did you hear them? They're really something. This doesn't surprise anybody who is paying attention with any regularity to how the president speaks. I don't know that anybody should be terribly surprised by this, but we're asking you, what do you think about his comments? Do you think it was a funny joke? Do you think it was an unfunny joke or tasteless? He was asked by a Japanese reporter, hey, why didn't you give Iran more heads up before you bombed them? And he's like, you guys didn't do that to us for Pearl Harbor. And that's history. This is President Trump last night with the Prime Minister from Japan.
We're honored to receive an additional 250 cherry trees, and they're very big, beautiful trees from the great people of Japan in recognition of America's 250th anniversary. And they will remind every future generation of our timeless bond, and they'll be planted near and around the Washington Monument, and it's going to be something very special. They've already started the planting, but it's 250 beautiful specimen trees, and we'll get you over here. We'll check them out after they're planted. We'll get you back.
So a nice gift that was not rescinded after the president made a Pearl Harbor joke. I got a text message from a listener who said Trump wasn't making a joke. He was serious. It was a rhetorical question. He wasn't addressing the prime minister as someone who would remember Pearl Harbor. He was addressing her as Japan's head of state. And then I heard another person, or I read another comment here from the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And it was, here's one from Steven. It said, it was a flex. Trump does this all the time. Yes, even with allies. And I'm not going to read that name. We'll call him CH.
Now I want to know what it was.
Well, it's on the screen. It says crotch. Love your show. I think a very important point is being missed by everyone. President Trump made the, quote, joke, end quote, to illustrate the stupidity of another low IQ question. I do actually agree with that. He wasn't mocking Japan. He wasn't mocking the prime minister. He was mocking the stupid joke at the expense of Japan and Pearl Harbor.
This comment from the text line says almost the same thing. It says, the president's remark doesn't bother me in the least. I found it funny. The question was so ridiculous, it deserved an equally ridiculous response.
That is lost in the conversation because he did. I mean, if you're going to make a Pearl Harbor joke, if they were having a cabinet meeting and that question were asked by the press and President Trump said, did Japan alert us from Pearl Harbor, I don't think we'd be talking about this at all. It's really the fact that Japan was in the room. And it was a question asked by Japan. But it is a dumb question. And the press, now this, right? It was a Japanese member of the press.
As far as I know.
The way it sounded. But stop asking him to reveal his military plans before he does it, and stop assuming that that's something that he should do before he attacks. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least in the press.
This person, actually, I was going to say this, but this comment says the same thing. It says, concerning President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark, I thought it was pretty funny and predictably didn't advance when the element of surprise is important. It's also, they also doesn't think Joy Behar is very intelligent. I'll just put it in that in
really?
those terms. Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Yeah, this person. Here's one that's very interesting, okay? It says, concerning President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark, I thought it was funny. Oh, sorry, I just said that one. The one above it. His was a true and not funny statement. His was a true and not funny statement. My mom
Not a joke.
Wouldn't even ride in my Toyota. She's from that era.
Yeah.
Her brother was wounded in World War II.
Yeah. My grandpa fought in World War II, and, do you say fought? Do you have to qualify fought? He served. He was an officer in the Army. I think I could say he fought. His life was definitely in jeopardy from time to time. He was a map maker, and he served in the Southwest Pacific, which was very close to Japan. He wrote a book about it. And when he's not somebody who was unwilling to talk about the war, and he was a talker, and he loved history. But when my grandpa would talk about the Japanese as an 80-year-old man, he did not do it in a politically correct way. And we don't correct people who served in World War II, who fought against somebody, and say, oh, Grandpa, we don't talk like that.
Right.
My grandpa would have said, like hell.
You know what, though? We kind of did it to people with Vietnam. When people spoke in a way and called the Vietnamese the names that we know exist, we kind of did do that to that generation. We kind of threw them under the bus.
I don't think that we kind of did. It was like a two-handed shove in the back. Another comment I got on text said, if Biden had said the same thing, it would have been no big deal. Trump was simply defending the value of surprise, which he suggested the Japanese prime minister would certainly understand. The moron community shows how desperate they are when they resort to these weak, pathetic arguments. Concur?
Yes. And I'll read this one. As a proud member of Gen X, I found Trump's comments hilarious.
I love the Gen X predicate.
Actually, he says hilarious AF.
Yeah. Love the show.
My generation isn't for the weak, he says.
Then we really need Gen X to step up and very aggressively and publicly not care. You know what I mean?
Pretty good at that. Yeah.
I don't know that Gen Alpha, which I think would be, isn't that Ethan? He's an Alpha, I think.
I thought he was Z, but he may be right on the cusp.
Oh no. He's Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Z. My son is Alpha.
Okay.
And he might be towards the, I don't know, whatever. But we need the Gen Xers who are really into the influencer game right now about talking about how much they don't care. That really needs to shine through. Who are the people who really care? We talk about the Meemaw Boomer women who are the ones that are flooding these protests. I think a lot of it has to just do with availability. You've got a lot of women who are outside of their working years, probably had careers, maybe stayed at home, but I feel like a lot of them are people who were working maybe in public service and have retired and have time to protest with such frequency. That level of commitment that they have, they're definitely serious and passionate about it. I won't take that away from them. But when you see these protests from time and time and time again from these boomer-aged, mostly women, what are your thoughts about the men at these things? If it's a 65, 70%, 72-year-old woman protest, but there are other men out there, what is your drive-by judgment of what's going on?
That's a really good question, because when I see elderly, that's not even the right word.
Boomers.
It's boomer women of that generation. When I see them protesting, I think shoulder shrug.
You're like, okay.
That's what I expected you to do with your pension. But when I see men of that same age, I just want to take them out for a beer and be like, buddy,
you don't have to do
what
this.
What are you doing? You don't have to do this. This isn't what your golden years were supposed to be.
I do.
No, dude.
I'm going to get in trouble.
It does look like the soul has been sucked out of them when they're standing there. They're just kind of like shoulders down, holding the sign like my wife says I have to be here.
There's something about it that makes me think, I want to help you, sir.
This guy needs an intervention.
But I don't know how. I don't know how.
I feel like they're never in the front of the protest.
No. There are liberal men our age and younger there sometimes. Not a lot of them, but a few. And those, I'm like, hey, you're doing your thing. You're there because you want to.
Why aren't they at work, though?
That's a good question, too. But they are there.
It reminds me of when we have comedians on the show that they come on here on Fridays quite a bit because maybe they're doing a Funny Bone show or something like that. And they all the Fox comedians, they're comedians who go on Fox is what I should say. They all talk about loving doing shows in Florida because they're all matinees. All the protests are matinees now.
Because they're all old.
I would never say that.
I'm saying that. That's what they're saying.
I kind of want to drive by and ask them if they're enjoying their matinee protests now.
It's like a happy hour.
But I'll give them this too. The last one I saw, and this was a No Kings protest, so this is a few months ago. I haven't seen No Kings in a while. The cause shifts, the signs change, the people are the same. But when I saw that happening, and this had to be early January, maybe even late December. It was a very rainy, 40-degree day. It was nasty. And they were still out there with their signs. And I had to say,
good for you.
You are really committed. I have to appreciate at least the commitment.
I know that they have deep, passionate care for what they're doing. Specifically, the pension crowd.
Yeah.
They do. They're out there and they care deeply about what they're doing. It means so much to them. If you go to Minneapolis and you see these people in their 20s and 30s, I just assume they're being paid. There's something in it for them. It's not for the cause. I feel like the Meemaws are out there for the cause. To your point, it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. You fully committed here. It's interesting to hear your perspectives, though, on the men.
The other thing, though, about, let's say,
the
Minnesota,
peepaws.
for instance, the national attention protests. Those people, I really do believe, are the same people that travel from thing to thing to thing.
Yeah, that's been proven.
And at least some of them.
They have arrest records in all the places. It's like getting your national park passport stamped.
And that happens when national spotlights form on areas of interest. And that's not even new. That's been going on since it happened right here in Ferguson. You know, they started to report on the local news, and I give them credit for this. They started to report how many of the arrests were from people from out of state.
Yeah.
Toward the end of it. And then it kind of faded away and it went away, and then all the people went away.
It's a fabrication.
It is.
It's a show.
It is a show, and they want to be a part of it. And then the minute it's no longer the spotlight, they don't have the attention, it goes away. And they just move on to the next thing.
Charles says, Annie, why aren't there any counter protests supporting the president? They're all at work.
We have jobs.
I'm working my tail off here on a Friday afternoon so the people of Minneapolis can not watch their children.
I work until late March so that I can pay all of that money to Uncle Sam so that money can go to the protesters who protest me doing it.
High fives to the Meemaws and the Papaws and your pensions. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Okay, I got some really good news. Well, we do have the 0% a lot. We do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there, and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Grown Up Talk with Murphin Blurgelman.
Oh, God.
And it's all sponsored by All Financial.
Yay.
You sound like
Ding,
Mark
ding.
Cox at a Kentucky game. Mark Cox just sent me a picture of himself. Just a little interjection here in Sports and Local. I have a picture of Mark. He's on the floor. He's right next to the broadcasters over at, is it Enterprise Center?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of my Erica Kirk segment in the first hour, Kentucky was down by 3, and they shot a logo 3 with 0.2 seconds, and they hit it off the backboard and came back to win. So I kind of chuckled because I had to swallow my gas.
Right in the middle of your dialogue.
Sports and Local.
Monologue.
This is March, people. This is March. And SLU is advancing into round number 2 of March Madness. Last night, a beatdown in Buffalo.
Unbelievable.
102-77. And the final score didn't really accurately depict just
It
how
could have been
badly
higher.
they beat them.
It could have been higher.
They were up by over 30 at points in this game. They had a 17-point lead at the half. So don't get me wrong. They played well in the first half. And then they went on, I think,
They had a what point lead?
They had a 17-point lead at the
70.
half. 17-point lead at
Yeah.
the half. And then they went on a 23-0 run. And they had a 67-32 lead 5 minutes into the second half. I mean,
Unbelievable.
they were absolutely obliterating Georgia. And this is a pretty good Georgia team. So pretty unexpected last night from the Billikens. And they now move to 29-5 on the season. That is a school record for victories in a season for the Billikens. And now the real test begins. Because they were a 9 seed, in the second round, they will face off against the 1 seed in their region, the Michigan Wolverines, who Josh Schertz said last night in the postgame he thinks they are the best team in the country. They may very well be. He also said that SLU is going to need to play exactly like they played yesterday if they want to keep it close. That's how good he views this team. But you only have to beat them. You only have to beat them once. This is March. Anything can happen. And if SLU shoots 58% like they did last night, who knows what can happen. So that was pretty awesome last night from the Billikens.
Tell you what, it was fun. I watched part of the game, and I listened to a lot of the game on KMOX. Bob Ramsey is one of the most
he's phenomenal.
fun guys to
He's
listen
awesome.
to, especially when it's a fantastic big game like that.
He brings the energy.
He was energetic. It was a lot of
40 years. 40 years of calling SLU basketball for Bob Ramsey.
No kidding.
40 years.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed it would have been that long.
The Illinois...
Are you saying he's old?
That's older than I think he is.
You think
He started
like
when he was 7.
What do you think? He's like mid-30s?
That's what I was going to say.
He's your age.
I thought he was probably 50 years old, and you told me he's been for 40 years. I'm like, well, that's a long time.
Started when he was 10.
The Illinois Fighting Illini absolutely beat down the 14 seed Penn last night. 105-70 was the final score in that one. David Merkovich.
That's a bigger beatdown.
It is a big.
I want that same level emphasis on the Illinois beatdown as you gave to SLU.
It was 35.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're right. It was a bigger
It was
beatdown.
great, ding.
Here's what I'll say. They're a 3 seed. They're supposed to do that. David Merkovich, 29 points, 17 rebounds. He was electric last night. Keaton
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Wagler also had 18 points. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that.
I didn't get it, and then I did.
And then now Illinois will face off against the 11 seed VCU, who upset North Carolina last night in a thriller of a game. They were down by 19 points and came back in the second half and won that game in overtime, I believe. Yeah, it was in overtime. They've only faced each other once, so two teams that aren't very familiar with each other. Kind of a funny connection. SLU didn't win their conference tournament. It's the only reason that that VCU is in the tournament, because they did win it. So now they're facing off against one of the local teams in Illinois, and the winner will advance to the Sweet 16.
You know who's a jerk? The scheduler who put both of those games on at the same time.
Yeah, that's
What's
right.
up with Illinois?
Illinois started
they're too
maybe
far.
30 minutes before the SLU game, I believe. I don't know. Where was the Illinois game? Do you know? Do you remember?
It's in the South, wherever those games
I was
are.
going to say Buffalo. But
No, that was the SLU game. SLU was in Buffalo.
Oh, SLU was. Okay.
Yeah.
They're in the South bracket.
Okay.
but I don't know where that plays.
Gotcha. And then Mizzou plays tonight in St. Louis against Miami, 9-10 tip-off, and I can only imagine how exciting that's going to be. The prices for sessions in St. Louis absolutely blew all of the other sites out of the water because Mizzou's playing here.
Yeah.
I mean, the cheapest tickets are like well over $200 for March Madness here because of that. So
Not too much for Mark Cox.
no, well, it sounds like he had a credential. What
Did
it
he?
sounds like. Well, I mean, you said he was right by the broadcasters. That made me assume he had a credential. Maybe not.
He's
I
a
don't know.
huge Kentucky fan.
He
I
is
don't know
a
if we
huge,
established
yeah,
that.
that's a good point. Thanks for sharing
He's not
that.
wearing a lanyard.
Okay, maybe not. All
He's
right.
wearing a big fat grin on his face. He is a happy man. There's nothing like watching your team hit a buzzer shot.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing like that. I mean, to win, if it would have been to win, that's the only way to make that better. But the shot had no business going in at the end of that Kentucky game. It was a logo 3, deep shot off the glass. 0.2 seconds, close enough that they had to run it back and check the time, and it was clearly
There
fine.
was 8 points scored in the final 10 seconds of the game.
So exciting.
8 points scored in the final 10 seconds of the game. Pretty crazy. TSA agents at Lambert Airport are continuing to work without pay as the partial federal government shutdown reaches, or it's now over 40 days. And despite the lack of paychecks, airport officials report that security operations and staffing levels have remained steady, which, obviously is a good thing because there are parts of the country where this has not been the case, and I really haven't seen anything about Lambert Airport having crazy
I haven't either
long
about Lambert.
lines.
That's good because I've read that 400 TSA agents have resigned and left because they're fed up with not getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, understandably. This
Across
says,
the country, not here.
Right, and this says the local impact is part of a broader national crisis. 61,000 TSA employees did not receive pay as of last weekend, and to support facing financial certainties at home, the nonprofit Operation Food Search has begun delivering hundreds of bags of non-perishable food to agents at the airport. So obviously we hope that this whole situation gets figured out sooner than later. But I don't know. Is there any sort of update as to them getting close to this, guys?
No.
To figuring this out?
Nope.
Ethan, no.
Thank you,
There's
Ryan.
nothing. They're not moving. I heard on a Fox report this morning, they said that the Democrats feel, quote, serene about their position on this. And I'm like, serene? Unbelievable.
They are getting no pressure. I've heard other people make this point, but I'm going to make it again, that if this was Republicans doing it for the exact same reason, they would be lambasted in every outlet across the country until this thing ended.
You know what's the most frustrating part is when you see people in Congress walking and passing all these lines to get on their planes. That's the most that frustrates me the most. Did they?
I think that was one of the things that they ended.
Okay, because I'd seen videos of that last week, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And it was both people on both sides doing it. I'm just like, it just looks so bad and so careless. Like, we're above you. This doesn't affect us, so we don't care.
Go to Enterprise Center and stand outside and ask every person until the last person leaves that arena why the government is shut down and TSA is not functioning right now. I bet you can't count. I bet you don't need more than two hands to count how many people could explain what's going on.
It's hard for me to remember.
It's so stupid.
Because it's so small, and we don't really know exactly what they're asking for. And they're not talking either.
One more?
Sure.
A group of voters challenging the new GOP-favored House map in Missouri filed a notice of appeal regarding a recent ruling that upholds the new congressional lines, taking the matter into the state's Supreme Court. A Jackson County Circuit Court judge last week upheld a Republican gerrymander here in Missouri, which would create a 7-1 GOP advantage for its congressional delegation, rejecting the argument that the new map violated the state constitution because the district was not compact. This court, this is a quote from the judge, Adam Kane. This court finds that the 2025 plan complies with the constitutional mandate that Missouri's congressional districts be divided into contiguous territory as compact and as nearly equal in population as may be.
I am always in awe of Missouri Republicans, especially as of late. I feel like the last maybe 4 years or so, they've really seemed to find their compass in what direction the Missouri Republican Party wants to head. But you've got the supermajority of Republicans in the House and the Senate. You've got all statewide Republican elected officials. It is the exact opposite of the state of Illinois. And sometimes I feel like they should do more in Missouri because I feel like there's no regard for anything in the state of Illinois. I feel like they should do more in Missouri with their majority because I feel like in Illinois there's no hindrance whatsoever. They decide they want to do something, full steam ahead.
He may not be pushing as hard as like a DeSantis, but you know who's really gotten on board with okay, let's make some moves. Kehoe. I've been really glad to see some of the things he's pushing.
Yeah. It's top to bottom in the state of Missouri. It's fun to watch from this side of the river.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, some spring break update here on the Annie Fry Show, the YouTube poll. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke. It was an unfunny joke, or it was tasteless. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage. Have you contacted Stewie yet? 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie is waiting for your phone call. Mortgages, everyone's paying attention to rates, up, down, whatever it might be. They're always moving. If you think that you have a new mortgage headed your way in the future, you want to ensure that you have connected with Stewie. You can talk to him about how he can help you with a bagel loan, which is that brand new mortgage, even a mortgage refinance and a cash out refinance that might improve your financial position. When you start the conversation with him, you're not required to lock in immediately. He's going to help you navigate where the rates are, what works best for you, what options are available to you so that you are very confident that you're in the right place. That's what I did when I worked with him twice to do a bagel loan refinance of my home in 2019, and I think again it was in 2020. Very glad that I did it and highly recommend it for you as well. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
This Friday, we're inviting you to have some fish with us. It's another Fish Fry Friday on The Mark Reardon Show. This time we're in Oakville at Queen of All Saints. From 3 to 6, we'll be broadcasting live and eating God's cod. Fish Fry Fridays, made possible by Apache Village RV.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
We are asking you today, how do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke, it was an unfunny joke, or it was tasteless entirely. It's the YouTube live chat poll. We are asking you to weigh in, as many of you have, either on our stream, which is live right now, just like every day. You can comment there and, of course, vote there, or you can text in a comment at 314-241-9797. It is 1:49 here on this Friday, March 20th. And this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It is spring break time. We're talking, of course, a lot about the TSA lines, people flying to and from. Would you ever let your high school kid go on a trip by themselves?
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously on a plane or driving?
Either one.
I would be more likely to let them fly.
Really?
Than drive. I think it's safer to fly
high
than drive.
school age,
yeah.
Any high school age? Yeah,
I don't know that I would let my high school kid go unattended by an adult.
I think by the time they're a senior, if they're going with a group of friends,
maybe.
I'd have a hard time saying no. I'd want to know everything, but I'd have a hard time saying no.
I'm not there yet, and I keep realizing when with each passing month with my son being 16, it becomes like, okay, this is what this is like. All right, this is how I feel about it. I remember when my son turned maybe 5 or 6, I remember losing my breath that he was close to double digits.
Oh, man.
Like, birthdays were so bittersweet for me because you're happy. It's a big thing. It's a big moment for a kiddo. But all I could see was the passage of time. And then I would think to myself, gosh, 10, 16 is going to be here. Teenager's going to be here before you know it. High school, driving. And we're at that driving part. I said this a little bit earlier in the show. He always calls me right after he gets done with school, and he's like, need anything? And he wants an errand to run. He wants something to go fetch or whatever. But, thinking about this story with this young man who went to Barcelona, they found his body. He passed away. They said they don't suspect any foul play. Is it different to you to think about letting a kid? That was a college kid, so that was a little bit older. And I would suppose, do you have the right to tell your college-age kid, no, you're not going to Spain? I think it depends on how much of their life you're funding. You probably can't tell them no, but you can say, you can go, but this gravy train stops.
Man, I don't know. I think if it's a high school kid, you could tell them no.
I said college.
Oh, college. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, college, once you're 18 and it depends on how independent you want to be.
Are you paying for their car? Are you paying for their insurance? Are you paying for their housing? Are you paying for their school? Are they paying for everything, living on their own with their own job? I don't think you're able to. You could ask them to stay, but I don't think you can tell them. But this young man was out at a bar at 3 a.m. and it sounds this is the story that always seems to happen. It was the same one that happened, I think, was it in Tennessee, where the crew of people was at the bar, the club, whatever it might be, and the group leaves and someone stays behind. And they don't come home. And they're going to do an autopsy on this young man to find out exactly what happened. They've said they don't suspect foul play. I know that I am a worrywart. I am somebody who thinks, gosh, if you never go to a club at 3 a.m. in Spain when you're a college kid, there are a certain set of things that can't happen to you. Do you feel like that when you're thinking about your kids? Are you that person yourself? Are you kind of a protectionist in your own life? Do you keep yourself from doing big, adventurous things because of the risks involved?
Man, that's a tough question because yes, in general, but here's the thing. I think through a lot of risk. We've said this before. It's a surprise because I seem so loose about everything. But when it comes to financial decisions, I think through the risks start to finish. So I'm very risk averse in that sense. Yet, once I've thought it through, I will do it.
But you're talking about money risks.
I'm talking about money risks,
not like
social.
Safety, security,
No.
Life.
No, that kind of stuff I am just completely oblivious to. What are you doing Ubering people in Brooklyn at 2 a.m. on a Saturday? Oh, I didn't even think about it. Like that's
Brooklyn,
the kind
Illinois?
of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sauget or whatever.
Have you ever been to Mexico?
I have one time.
Wild time?
No. It was on our honeymoon.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you go?
Yeah, we went to Monterey, and it was supposed to be, this was 2007. West Coast of Mexico is supposed to be very up and coming. When we got there, and
that sounds like cheap and
it was still,
not quite there yet.
It was very up and coming. There wasn't a lot there yet, and we enjoyed it. But a lot of people go to those kinds of things wanting to just sit on a beach, drink, soak up the sun, relax. My wife and I really like doing cultural stuff, so we found ourselves on this resort going, well, this is kind of boring. Let's go into town, which is like,
That's not what you do.
Gosh. So we did a few times.
What'd you experience?
We only saw 2 or 3 people dressed in fatigues holding machine guns. So
did that make you feel safer or less safe because there were only a few?
You know, overall, I think it made us feel less safe because we realized that was necessary.
You didn't have machine guns.
Yeah, but it was fun. We were obviously fine. We went and shopped. We went into the Mexican marketplace where, you know, it's like the people just throwing up tents. And
is it food? Is it goods? Is it everything?
Anything. It's like a flea market. That was kind of fun because people just kind of yelling at you and trying to sell you stuff.
Compare going to that place in Mexico to the times you've made trips to Japan.
Completely different culture. 100% different. The other thing is that in Mexico versus Japan, Japan is notoriously on time. They run their trains by the second. I kid you not. Because they have to. Because there's so many trains running. And everybody travels by train because if you travel by car, it's too slow. In Mexico, what we ran into is that we'd sign up for an activity. We would go do something on the beach and they'd take you out to an island or something like that. We'd show up and say, oh, it starts at 11 o'clock. We show up at 11 o'clock. They don't show up till noon. That's just the way it is. There was very little structure. There was no real basis in time. That drove me nuts about Mexico.
It's one of my favorite things about being in Hawaii. They talk about island time. Everything is a stroll. It's casual.
I hate that.
Well, even on a vacation?
Yes. I want to get stuff done.
Oh my gosh. This is why we don't vacation together.
That's the only reason.
No, man. It's like you don't even have to look at a clock. You just, is the sun up? Let's go sit in that chair and look at it. Is the sun down? Let's go sit in that chair and watch the pool and have a pina colada.
Oh, it sounds nice. I get it.
But... Oh, my gosh. I love it. It's my favorite. Ask us anything. Next question. Next segment. Don't go away.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, And I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100. And I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. The website is HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Go check them out for a whole host of different types of foundation repair needs that you might be experiencing. It's an investment that you need to make. Of course, if you're thinking about the spring now, you're thinking about opening up that patio, the pool. It's going to be pool time pretty soon. That's so exciting. Do you have that uneven concrete around your pool that you need to get fixed so you can stop stubbing your toe while you're walking around enjoying that wonderful vitamin D coming in from the sun? You can reach out to Home Shield Foundation Repair, and they can handle that for you in like a day. If you are interested in their polyjacking feature, where they take polyurethane foam, inject it under the concrete, raise it up, level it out, they're going to slap a 5-year warranty on that and make you comfortable hiring the best in the business when it comes to foundation repair. For uneven concrete, for water in your basement, for foundation structural needs, you want Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777. Lots of airport chaos. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. The Senate's debating how or if to fund Homeland Security and end the partial government shutdown that is depriving TSA workers of paychecks and creating extremely long lines at U.S. airports.
5 weeks now into this shutdown of DHS, and there is little to no optimism here on the Hill that this is going to get fixed anytime soon. Now, we do expect Border Czar Tom Homan to be on the Hill here again today to meet with the bipartisan group of senators to talk about this DHS funding. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said earlier today, we should know if there's a real chance of getting a deal after that meeting is over.
Fox's Bill Malugin on Capitol Hill. Members of the Coast Guard and Secret Service are also not getting paid during the DHS funding stalemate, now in its 34th day. Operation Epic Fury pushes through day 21. President Trump singing the U.S. military's praises, painting a dim outlook for Iran's.
The difference between them and us is they had a Navy 2 weeks ago. They have no Navy anymore. It's all at the bottom of the sea. 58 ships knocked down in 2 days.
The president speaking at the White House as he honored the U.S. Naval Academy football team today. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is in Dubai and reports the U.S. is sending 3 more warships and thousands more U.S. Marines to the Middle East.
The Pentagon announcing it has deployed the venerable A-10 Warthog attack aircraft to begin striking targets responsible for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, using its 30-millimeter chain guns along the coastline in an attempt to open the Strait of Hormuz.
And March Madness rolls on today. The men's first round continues and the women's tournament gets underway. One blowout so far as number 3 TCU slammed number 13 UC San Diego 86-40. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally.
That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The spring season is officially underway starting mid-morning today. Lots of sunshine. Doesn't really feel like spring. Almost feels like summer. Early summer anyway. 84 for the high. Tonight, mostly clear. Nice evening as we drop back into the 70s. 53 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 81. Sunday, sunny, 85. Cooler, 59 for the high on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
You need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Kind of feels like the Ryan Wiggins Show.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just all about you.
Oh, because of that open?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that open.
Got gas in my Pacifica van today. Filled it up. It was...
Glad that was ended up in your car.
Below the low mark where the computers are like, all right, lady, time to take this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
$68.
Ouch.
I was not really a fan of that.
I've got gas in my
You've got gas?
Subaru.
Oh. You have a Subaru?
I do now.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the new one.
That's the new one. Yeah, we have a Subaru.
Do you have Birkenstocks?
I do. Yep. And Capris.
Is there more story about you just...
I just wanted to say I've got gas in my, and then kind of leave it hanging for a second.
Right.
But I did go to fill up that car, and it was similar. And it was a shock.
Well, how big is the tank? Do you know?
No, I don't
know. If I'm getting over 17 gallons, that means that I pushed the limits a little bit. And it was in Illinois. It was $3.99, but I had 10 cents off a gallon for whatever rewards thing we're doing. And I just thought, gosh, I could have made it go past 70. Just didn't. This needs to not last terribly long. I'm filling 3 cars with gas right now.
Yeah, I don't love it. I did see a graph the other day, though, that this is as high as it was for a good portion of Biden's presidency.
Yeah.
It's just that it's happened quicker.
And again, to the point that we were talking about yesterday, we were told that it was a patriotic duty to just understand that things are going to cost more because we're going to invest in green energy. So we were making these things a lot pricier without the violence of war being involved in the equation. They were just doing it because they could.
That's a great point.
It frustrates me to know that we paid this, as you point out, Ryan, through the course of Joe Biden's presidency because the Democrats said it's what we had to do. They told us you need to get used to this kind of gas. And then they made it so that gas-powered vehicles were going to be less affordable. They subsidized electric vehicles so they were more affordable, even though it's not what Americans wanted to drive on the whole. It wasn't a sustainable market without the help of the government. They tell us to put E85 oil or gasoline in our car, which is only more affordable because it's subsidized, and it's not good for your engine. All of these things causing us to spend more and more money on fuel because of green energy policy that hasn't borne out any fruit. You remember, I have this clip. I'm not going to play it. But you remember Senator Kennedy asking that guy at, I don't remember what the agency he was with, but he was a Green Energy Initiative agency guy. And they were asking for billions and billions and billions of dollars in investment to help with global warming. And he said, if we give you this money, how much will we cool the earth? And the guy was like, I don't know. And he's like, can you guarantee that it would cool even a half degree? And he was like, no. And John Kennedy and Senator Kennedy and his Senator Kennedy way kept pushing the issue. And he's like, you want billions and billions of dollars with no understanding that it's going to be effective at all. And the answer is basically, yes, please.
Yeah.
And so all of our expenses, what's it cost to heat your home? What's it cost to cool your home? What's it cost to fuel your car? What's it cost to do anything? What's your shower head like in your shower where the water pressure sucks now? How many times do you have to deal with a toilet that's got like 8 different type of flush settings on it and is ineffective and, in my opinion, unsanitary because it's not doing the trick in a public restroom? All of these things that we've been subjected to. How many turtles have we saved with terrible straws? You repeatedly are not asked, you're told this is what you're going to do for the cause, and you're going to like it. And if you dare go, I really don't like the straw, then you're a terrible, terrible person.
You're evil. You're evil. You hate the earth, and you want everybody to die. You know what really drove me crazy about that graph, too, was looking at it. You could tell when there'd be artificial dips in the price because it would be right before an election and they'd open up the strategic reserves, they'd dump them out, make everybody think for a couple months that they were doing a great job and forget about it. And then before the main election, before 2024, there was a gradual fall in general. And so you knew just from watching the 4 years of Biden's presidency, they had the ability and they knew how to bring the prices down. Not that I am happy about the strategic reserves thing, but even with the marketplace, they knew how to manipulate the marketplace enough to bring the price down when it mattered, and they didn't care to do it for you anyway early in the term.
Who made money on all of that stuff? And how much money was made? And how much of it was funded through taxpayer initiatives?
Oh, it's untold.
Stacey Abrams in Georgia, they found out that her job, off the top of my head, she was involved in leading some initiative where she was supposed to recommend to people putting appliances in buildings to use high efficiency. That's just off the top of my head. Those facts might not be pinpoint accurate top to bottom. But she wasn't selling anything. She was just making a boatload of money to recommend to people to use high efficiency things. She was getting flooded with cash to just say, you should do the green thing. Thumbs up.
You remember the number?
No. Do you?
It started $100. She took $100, put it into an NGO, a non-government organization fund, and said, this is our new business. Mm-hmm. It has $100. Mm-hmm.
Who did we have on to talk about that?
Oh, gosh. We had a few people on early on in Trump's second term. And then she said, we need $2 billion. And they said, thumbs up. We need $2 billion.
Hate that so much.
Now, Lee Zeldin caught it, and this is the only reason we know about it, is when Lee Zeldin took over, because they did it right at the end of Biden's term. They were just funneling this cash all over the place. They did this all over. That was just one that we remember. Lee Zeldin caught it and stopped the payments. I don't think he stopped them before any went out, but he stopped the majority of them.
That's the thing about the investigation into fraud that I'm so interested in. And we were able to talk to Dr. Oz yesterday on the show, which was really great. A really great conversation with him. If you want to check it out on the Annie Fry Show podcast, the Odyssey app, or the Annie Fry YouTube channel. But the digging that he's doing into how people are manipulating the system I want to get all that money back. We're not going to get any of it back. Stopping it, though. What does that do for the future of our economy? What does it do for the future for the American taxpayer to root out millions of dollars here, $1 billion there? And they're just right now selected in a few places around the country, but they're learning how the system works. It's being replicated and duplicated all across the country. I do think that it's the thing I'm the most interested in the president seeing all the way through to the end of his term. When he gets done in office, I want him to say, I've looked everywhere, top to bottom, every single corner, every nook and cranny to find every penny of fraud that exists, and I've rooted it out. I mean, obviously, I want him to end this war in April at the latest. Hopefully, this isn't a 15 days to slow the spread situation. But of all of the commitments, of course, there's the election fraud concerns, which you could lump into the fraud conversation if you wanted to. But the dollars spent. If these companies, if these groups, these government organizations non-government organizations don't have all of this taxpayer-funded money, then maybe they can't support all these loser candidates that get in there and vote for the things to spend the money that they don't have, that they're stealing from you on things that aren't actually even in existence. Like, this is a very much so cycle repeated over and over and over and over again from location to location to location in a whole bunch of different, same stuff, different details way that if you break the cycle, to me has a domino effect for the American taxpayer dollar. I'm here for it. And I don't want him to let up. And I want the next person who becomes a president of the United States to do the exact same thing. Keep looking. Don't let up.
You know, this is actually a much better news item than we give it credit for. If you recall, right when Trump took over in 2025 at the beginning, so last year, Marco Rubio took over USAID. And we were talking about all these different programs that they were finding that they're like, why is this money going to this and that and this? All that money's been stopped. That's a good news item that I think we forget how much money they've already stopped from going out to some of these organizations. It's underreported anyway.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to do Ask Us Anything pretty much for the rest of the show, in and out. We'll have some long-form conversations, some quick ones. So if you have questions for us, we'd love to hear them. You can text us at 314-241-9797. That's the Annie Fry Show text line. 314-241-9797. Or throw them at us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel while you go vote in today's YouTube live chat poll. Here's the question we're asking you. Did you hear President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark yesterday in the Oval Office? Did you think it was a funny joke? Did you think it was a joke, but it wasn't funny? Or did you just think, ugh, tasteless? You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote in that poll. Leave us a comment and ask us anything. We'd love to let you help us direct the rest of the conversation throughout the course of this hour. Where did Ethan say he was going?
The fish fry.
I know, where?
Oh, it's in, hang on.
Okay, we'll tell you when we come back. The fish fry, the Mark Reardon fish fry. We've got this one and one more, correct? And then they've wrapped up.
Yeah, it's the end of Lent.
We'll tell you where Ethan and the Mark Reardon show is going to be as soon as we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are going to talk to you here real quick about the Air Comfort service opportunity for you, 24/7 service. But I really want to encourage you to put this phone number down in your phone because you don't really know when you're going to have emergency service needed. But you do want to know that you have the right people to call. You do want to know that when you dial that number, you're going to get attended to. You're going to get attended to quickly. And that these are people you're going to be able to trust. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. It's never a good time for your heater to go out, for your air conditioner to go out. And we're in that spring season right now where when that emergency service hits, you're going to need somebody who's going to be able to respond and respond quickly. Trust the people who I trust in my home at Air Comfort Service. Heating, cooling, and insulation needs, just give them a call at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. You can learn about them online as well at aircomfortservice.com. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Oh, gosh, it's a beautiful day outside. It says, my phone says it's 85 degrees outside. Do you know, first question of Ask Us Anything, what's the perfect temperature?
72.
You're wrong. Brad?
Oh, man. 80?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 60s.
No.
86 degrees.
I was going to say, she's going to say it's higher.
86.
I know her.
Yes. You need it to be warm with sun warmth on your face, and when the breeze comes by, it needs to be warm. Not hot.
The breeze is warm?
Heck yeah, it's warm.
Oh, gosh, that's
Shorts,
terrible.
A warm breeze is
T-shirt,
great.
warm breeze.
A warm breeze when it's cool
It's
is
like
awesome.
a hug.
No, it's not. A little bit of a cool breeze when it's hot is awesome.
Like when I was bigger, 80 would have been miserable. 60s would have been ideal, but I'm not that anymore. And I really appreciate like being able to sweat whenever I'm mowing the grass. I don't want to be cold when I'm mowing the grass. All that fun stuff. So yeah, 80, not 86. That's kind of extreme, but
86 is extreme.
72 is provably the perfect human temperature.
Oh, here we go.
It's not provably
it's
the perfect
science.
human temperature.
Yeah, it's the science. You can look
72
it up.
is a nice, cozy temperature for in your home. As No Guardrails 47 just said on YouTube, 67 for sleeping. I think that is the perfect temperature for the home for sleeping.
Oh, weird. Interesting. I just got a text from Health and Human Services Director John or R.F. Kennedy.
This is super believable. Please continue.
Womp, womp.
I just got a text from JFK.
Wait, I have a sounder for that.
He said Dr. Oz told him, great job on the show yesterday, and the perfect temperature is 72, provable by science. Can you believe that?
No, I quit listening. I'm texting.
No.
What are you texting? Who are you texting that's more important?
Was it RFK or was it his
Trisha.
uncle?
Are you texting Dr. Oz?
I'm texting Trisha.
What's Trisha have to do with this?
I'm telling on you.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Ryan lied on air.
He's going to be like, yeah, I know. That's why we pay him.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question. You got one?
Next question is, since the weather's getting nice, do you like camping?
No, I don't like it when it's not nice either.
Even like perfect conditions, you wouldn't like camping?
No.
Okay.
I don't mind being outdoors, but I want to be inside when I sleep in an incredibly comfortable bed with blankets and coziness and cleanliness.
What if you have all that and it's a float trip?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, man, we worked really hard as a human race to not have to sleep outside on the dirt. And why would we want to go out there and do that for fun?
You could make the same case about processed foods. We worked very hard to get to the point where we could feed everybody the crappiest Cheetos possible.
No. That wasn't what we worked hard for.
And now you want to go back to natural food?
Why would you want to sleep outside when you could sleep inside?
It's fun.
It doesn't
It's
make
fun
no. It is
sometimes.
not fun.
Yeah,
you
not all
wake
the
up
time.
uncomfortable with one of those like minor head colds.
No,
it's terrible.
Brad, use I statements. It's not fun for you. Ryan, you like it?
I don't have to use ice
No,
cream.
not really.
Well, you said you were telling him that it's terrible, and he clearly likes it.
I don't really like it, but I do like float trips. So if I can stay in a nice
Well,
location,
I just said I like to be outside, but I don't want to sleep out there.
Yeah, but you also don't like float trips. And to me, that's one of the funnest things you could do.
Man, I've been on float trips, and there were storms. There have been sunburns.
I have too.
I think I would enjoy a float trip with a certain group of people.
And you got to have 86 degree to 90 degree weather.
Sure.
Float trips need to be hot.
Yeah. So I agree with you there. But that's what you do when it's 90 degrees. You don't just sit there and go, yay, a breeze. That's the way I'm categorizing what you said. That's right.
I'm texting Trisha.
Let me know what Trisha says.
Brad, next question.
Have you guys ever been fired from a job?
I've only been fired from the Meat Cutters Union, but that's because I quit my job at Schnucks.
That's a good question. I've been let go by just...
Oh, I have been fired, actually. Go on.
I think I've been let go by just sort of no contact. I may have told this story before.
From a job?
Yeah. When I first started trying to work, I got a job rolling newspapers and putting them in the sleeves. And man, when I first started doing it, I was really bad at it. And the people who were good, they could just go.
You were bad at rolling newspapers?
Well, I was slow because you gotta get good at it, and you got to be able to slide it right in, and move. And the people who do it a lot, they're really fast. And so I'm sure there's a learning curve where I was 16 or 15 or whatever I was, and they were like, oh, that's your first couple of days. You're not going to be very fast. But I was shoving them in there, and I'm doing 10% of what some of the others are doing. And your hands are all inky by the end of the day. And I was like, I don't really love this job very much. And they didn't love me because they didn't call me, and I just didn't go back. So I think that's fired.
Mutual.
I'm not sure.
Have you been fired, Brad?
The closest I came to being fired was whenever I had a manager try to frame me for stealing money from the drawer.
You kept your job through that?
Yes. So I worked at a gas station, and the way it would work is at the end of the night, you would put the next day's drawer, the starting change in the drawer into the safe, and the next person would come in. Well, apparently, I didn't know this until I came in for my shift that afternoon, that that day, man, that person that worked the day shift was like, hey, what happened to the drawer? It wasn't in there. I was like, I don't know. I put it in there. And the other shift manager that was supposed to show up for her shift never did show up. And so we got really weirded out. And so we called the district manager. District manager comes in, and all they have is the shift manager coming in. They see her on the tape come in, come up to the machine and hit the stop button on the tape.
Oh,
the tapes weren't running and anything like that. And then she never showed back up. The person across the street had come over and be like, hey, why was the alarm in the store going off last night after we had closed? All that other fun stuff. Well, come to find out, she had broken in, stole the money out of the drawer, or out of the safe, out of the drawer, and
left a note that said, I did it, Brad.
Well, she wanted them to think it was me because I was the last person there.
Did she say you did it?
No, she didn't show back up until it was payday, and then she got arrested when she showed up to pick up her
Sounds to me like she didn't try to frame you. She just stole money and left.
Well, the thing is we had a big blowout that day, so I just assumed maybe she tried to frame me.
I kind of want to know more about the story.
I do too.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Me tell the rest of the story?
No, you ask questions.
Oh. You sure you don't want me to fill in the gaps that he left open?
I kind of figured you would better than I would, so I was handing it over to you. The story is getting deeper and deeper. There's a blowout?
Yeah.
What was the fight over? Was it about money?
Link.
From
food
Zelda?
stamps.
Oh.
Snap. I don't know, whatever it was called.
With the manager?
Yeah. I said that, this is going to be a shocker, but I said, if you're using food stamps to buy food, you shouldn't be able to buy liquor. You should use that money to buy liquor. And she lost her mind.
You should what?
You should be using the cash that you're earning from your job to buy your food and put liquor off to the side and stop asking the taxpayers to buy your food so that you can then buy hard liquor.
Okay.
And she lost her mind. She's like, what, we don't deserve it? And I said, no, not if you can't afford to buy it. And we went back and forth over that for a while.
I like that argument. I'm actually very proud of you.
Yeah.
You're looking out for us
And she's
out
like,
there on the streets.
it's not theft of the taxpayer dollars. And then that night she stole the money from the
She
company.
stole the money from the safe.
Amazing.
And I was like,
Sounds to me like a Democrat campaign. Has she run for office in Illinois?
No.
Is she serving in a statewide capacity?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, she's a state rep now.
She's in prison. Is she our governor?
I can't imagine that she showed up to pick up her final paycheck and like nothing had ever happened. It's like, we know you did this, right?
The irony.
I got fired from this job. From working at the radio station. Fired is a rough word, but this is one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. When Emmis got purchased by what was then Entercom. Entercom was the CBS. Well, no. It's got to go back even. It's even more complicated than that. CBS used to own KMOX Y98 and KZK. And it's interesting to talk about CBS Radio Today because CBS Radio Today just announced that they are no longer.
Oh, I thought they already were no longer.
No,
Okay.
I think the services they provide are no longer. But CBS Radio was purchased by Entercom, and Entercom came into St. Louis in the St. Louis market, and we used to be owned by Emmis Broadcasting, which is still involved in radio in a very small capacity, but not at all in the way when I used to work there, and it was such a wonderful place to work. I miss those days and those people deeply. But Emmis was exiting the St. Louis market, and we had 4 stations there. So I started working here at 97.1 in February 2nd of 2009. In 2018, Entercom was buying CBS Radio here in St. Louis, but adding 2 additional stations, which was 96.3 and 97.1, to the Entercom cluster here. And our other 2 stations, which were 105.7 The Point and KSHE 95, that's who I used to work with for 9 years before I came here. It was 97.1, 96.3, KSHE, and The Point. And we had this like kind of divorce type of thing where 2 of us went to one company, 2 of us went to another company, and we were coming here to Entercom. Now, Entercom has since changed its name to Odyssey, so Odyssey and Entercom are the same thing. Odyssey is our name now. But when the big split happened, we were waiting to find out from both companies that were scooping up the Emmis stations who was effectively now going. Because in some cases, there are people who would work at a radio station cluster who service all 4 stations at one time for any particular need. And it might be the case that when you were going to the new company, that they might have somebody who does that already. So you might end up getting laid off. And Emmis was incredibly generous and kind with their severance packages and all that stuff. I was told when it was finally found out, okay, these stations are going here, these stations are going there. They're going to keep 97.1 just as it is. They're not going to try to change anything, which is they've been very true to that the entire time that I've been here. I was told I was moving over. Our core team was moving over. We weren't losing anybody at 97.1 that was part of our core team. Great. Wonderful. So then, I don't know, this whole process probably went for 4 weeks or so from the time we heard that it was being sold to the time we actually started physically moving from the old building at Union Station over to here. And it was severance day, and everybody was getting called into HR's office. And Patty, who's just one of the most incredible people I've ever known. She was our HR director. And the day was wrapping up, and I got called into her office. She sent me an email. It was like, Annie, can you come see me? I'm in my office right now. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. So I start walking towards her, and she met me around the corner. And she came up and she put her hand on my back. And I probably walked with her 20 feet before I realized, oh, my gosh, I'm losing my job. At the time, I was on the air on Saturdays for 2 hours. I was compensated for that, but not much at all. It was almost just a nice thing that they were doing to compensate me for it. But I was the full-time digital brand manager for the station. So my job for those 9 years with 97.1 was to manage all things digital, programming digital, social media digital, sales digital when I work with clients and everything. So I had this pretty wide reach. If it were digital with the station, it was me. And at the new company, they had people, they just had a different structure. So I guess it didn't translate over quite the same. And so I got into her office and I sat down and she's like, I cannot believe this is happening. You're the last one I'm doing. We've been waiting all day to see if they end up changing their mind. And I just can't believe we're sitting here. And I was in shock. One of the times in my life, top 2-3 times in my life where I've been in absolute shock. I had no words. I had no idea it was coming. And as I was sitting there, she presented me with a severance. That was a nice severance. And all of a sudden, there's a knock on her office door. And it turns out it's Becky, who is the market manager here in St. Louis. And she came in and she goes, Annie, there's been a mistake. And she has on her phone the regional manager, whatever it might be, who oversaw St. Louis and Kansas City, among other places. And she goes, Annie, as soon as I found out from our program director, we called this person and we said, we can't lose Annie. There's been a mistake. And then she's like, will you listen to the man who was on the phone? I was like, sure. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and he's like, Annie, oh, so sorry about all this. There's been a mistake. We'd love to keep you on. We'd love to still have you. Sorry about all this. And I was like, sounds great. It was 30 minutes in HR's office from being totally blindsided because I had been told I was fine, I was safe. There was never any indication whatsoever. And there was 4 to 5 weeks of great distress over losing this thing that I knew even if I would have moved to the new location, everything was going to be different. And I was sitting in that office and it was all gone. And I was being presented with a 5-month severance, I think, which was full compensation and everything. And it was all gone. And then it was all back. And I have to tell you, in my lifetime, that is the closest to salvation that I have experienced in a real earthly, tangible way outside of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I felt like I was scooped out of the depths and brought back to life in that moment. And I've been here ever since. And the craziest part about that whole story is I think our first days here at the new place, mid-March, late March, we had some things happen at the station, and I had been interviewing for other jobs because the transition over here was not going to work. What I was being put into, it just was not a translation. I wasn't doing the same thing. I had 2 interviews to go do something entirely different. And then some things happened at the station, and I ended up getting offered this midday position 6 weeks later. And I've been here since April of 2018. I got the offer for the show on my birthday. The wildest series of weeks in my life. And I have since asked the person who was in charge of making those decisions at the time, if they would have fired me from digital and the situation still would have happened where it would have opened up the opportunity for me to come be on the air, could I have kept my severance? Because that would have been really sweet, of course. But that's the only time I ever got fired, but it was only for about 22 minutes or so.
Oh, that's longer than I thought. I thought it was like somebody came in right as they were saying the words.
No, she had taken the manila folder out. She had shown me all of the ways to do my COBRA insurance. I knew my whole severance. I knew how long it was going to last. I didn't I hadn't been emotional about it at all. But after they came in and they welcomed me back, and then I broke down. And then after all of that happened, I went and sat in my car and I just breathed. People saw me walk out and I had been in tears. So they thought I got let go. And everybody else was surprised that was happening because the other digital people didn't get let go. And it's like, no, I just got fired for a little bit. It was not the whole kit and caboodle. It was outrageous.
That's wild.
The HR lady, who is just, like I said, she's absolutely wonderful. She goes, that's the wildest ish I've ever been involved in. It's like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. All right, let's take a quick break. More of your Ask Us Anything questions when we come back. Don't go away.
It's
Hey,
Mark Bearden with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number two, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
I'm Emma Greed, host of Aspire with Emma Greed, a podcast where I sit down with people who don't just dream big, they build big. From culture-shaping voices like Mel Robbins to leaders redefining success like Tracy Ellis Ross to game-changing entrepreneurs like Mark Cuban. Aspire is about mindset, ambition, and doing the work that actually moves the needle. If you're ready to raise your standards and take charge about the life and career you're building, Aspire is where you start. Follow and listen to Aspire with me, Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast available wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. The YouTube live chat poll today is, how do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? Was it a funny joke, an unfunny joke, or was it tasteless? Here's a few comments. This one from Silk Step says, hi all, I laughed at the joke. Stupid questions get that kind of answer, I guess. Took me by surprise. And then Charles says, it was very funny. Tony Blair told George W. Bush sorry about that burning thing in 1812. I did not know that story. I've never heard that before. Interesting. Courtney says, hilarious, but still cringe. And then James says, it was semi-tasteless. It didn't land the way it was intended. A variety of opinions on this one. Looking forward to hearing the results here within the next 20 minutes. It is 2:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. We're going to do some Ask Us Anything. Next questions here from the listeners. We'll pepper through some of these questions here. Ryan, what do you got?
From the text line, question says, since Ryan has a Subaru, is he going to put a coexist bumper sticker on it?
He already has one on it.
I do not.
He wears it on his
They come standard.
tramp stamp. By the unicorn.
I wear it on my tramp stamp.
Rainbows.
Okay,
Dude,
look.
kids these days, you know, what has happened to children these days? Do they even know what tramp stamps are?
Yeah, children are lost.
In my day.
Kids, do you know what a tramp stamp is?
Sit down, kids. Let me tell you a story.
All right, next question is, how's everyone's bracket looking?
I didn't fill one out. I'm supporting my husband and kids, and I don't know what theirs are looking like because I don't have a login to get a login. What about yours?
I don't know either. I think I was doing okay yesterday. My dad told me that as of yesterday night, I think this was before SLU in Illinois, so I don't know how that affected things, that he was number one in the nation in the ESPN poll.
Oh, good for him.
At that moment, you know. What happened after that,
Was he
I
tied
don't
for
know.
first before
He was tied
any
for
games
first.
played?
No. He was tied for first after the first 8 or 10 games.
How's your bracket, Brad?
One of them's in 45th. The other one's and the other two are tied for 26th. So
In our pool or in the country?
in your pool.
45th is not very good.
No, but there's 12 and 13 points. It's 1 point separating the two.
It means
the
so
three.
little
How am I
this
doing
early.
in Annie's bracket? I haven't even
I
looked.
can't see yours. I don't know which
it's
ones
called
yours are.
Wiggins with a man's jam.
Next question.
Next question is from our stream. It says, has Annie ever done a burnout or a donut?
I love this question.
I've been in cars protesting when they've been happening.
Wait, Who's protesting?
Why
what?
would you protest that?
This is unsafe.
You're protesting people doing donuts?
I don't know if you can believe this, but people like to screw around with me.
So while you're doing a protest, people drive by doing donuts to screw with you?
Protesting the donuts, not protesting a cause.
So okay. So you're
doing donuts protesting.
You're out there
No
protesting
kings!
that people do donuts
No,
and then people
stop
show
it.
up.
You can't possibly be this frustrating.
Oh, yes,
are
I
you
am.
doing? Is
I
this
am
a real question?
absolutely this frustrating.
I am in the car with some bonehead teenage or early college boys who are like, let's make Annie as uncomfortable as possible. Let's do donuts. And I'm like, no, please stop. And they're like, ha, ha, ha. No, we're not going to. I'm protesting their dumb driving of donuts. I'm not protesting no kings.
I don't like that version of the story. I like the one where you're out
Next.
there on Edwardsville Road
Question.
holding a sign that protests donuts, and people are like, ha, ha, we'll
I
go
have
show
not
her.
yet reached the age where I can qualify for the Edwardsville protests.
Next
Nor will I have a pension.
Next question. You know what? Before we get there, Brad should answer. I know it's just for Annie, this question was.
What? The question for him is, when was the last
When was
time?
the last time you did a burnout or a donut?
2 years ago.
What?
Yeah.
Slacker.
No, it's just my vehicle isn't great for doing burnouts, so I don't like to do them if it's not a good burnout vehicle. I borrowed my brother's. I borrowed my brother's car.
Too new.
Which he dumped a bunch of money and make it high performance, and I wanted to, my pastor's kind of a gearhead too, and so I took him for a ride just to show him. I was like, well, check out the acceleration. You know, tires break loose in second gear, all that fun stuff. If you know, you know. So anyway, we get back in the church parking lot.
I don't either.
We get back in the church parking lot, and I just go and park the car. And he's like, "No, do a donut." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Do a donut." So I ripped this
donut.
So I ripped this big fat smoky donut, and everybody that was inside for band practice came and looked out, and they said they couldn't see the car; they could only hear it because it was just smoke rolling everywhere. And those donut marks stayed on the parking lot of the church for, I think they're still there. And so people walk in,
Can
they're
you
just
still smell them?
Oh no, you can't still smell them. But people walk in and they're just absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, they would be if they walk in. Somebody's ripping a big fat stinky donut right in
Who
front
did
of
this
them.
donut in the church parking lot? And it's like, well, the pastor and I did. So the pastor and the youth pastor. So,
Brad, follow-up question. If you drove past somebody protesting donuts today,
Next question.
Would you do a donut right in front of them?
Next question.
For sure, 100%.
Next question.
Next question is from Joe. Do you take the free mint when they are in a dish at a business?
What kind of mint? The red and white
Doesn't
stripy
say.
ones?
Doesn't say.
Hard pass on that.
Any free? What if it's a Andes mint?
Sure.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
the only one I think I would
Me
take.
too.
the wintergreen lifesavers, take those two.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
I
Worth
think
the gamble.
I think
to see
the
if
Andes
it's
mint's the
peppermint.
only one I do take also.
Brad, you got a question? We need to rerouting. Rerouting.
Rerouting.
When was the last time you
rerouting.
ripped a big stinky
Stop it. Oh my God.
Who
donut?
said stinky?
You did.
No, I didn't.
He didn't.
I said smoky. All right. Do you guys ever have recurring dreams?
Oh yeah. I think I've talked about this on the air before, but I was an athlete in high school. We've had this conversation too, side conversation that we can have later. If you were an athlete, do you cease to be an athlete? How do you qualify as an old person to be an athlete? We can talk about that later. I played 4 sports through my senior year of high school, but I went to Edwardsville High School my sophomore year, and I did volleyball, basketball, and track there. And then I transferred back to the Lutheran High School. And since I went from a large public school to a private school, I had to sit out an entire year of sports. So now my 41-year-old butt has dreams that I get to go back and play that year that I missed, but it's never my 17-year-old glory days of being a primetime athlete. I'm always me. And I'm showing up and they're like, you have to do this now. Oh, and you have a social studies test. Don't love it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Terrible.
This is not a reoccurring dream, but I tell you the truth. Last weekend, I was at my parents', and my mom goes, "You're not going to believe the dream I had about Annie."
Oh, no.
And I'm like, do tell. Why don't you tell me the dream?
No.
She says, I was at a farm or something, and they had all this extra cheese, just cheese everywhere. And
that would be a dream about you.
They had all of these, it was like those big rolls of cheese that as they come in Scotland or whatever. And just all this cheese. And they said, what are we going to do with all this? And she goes, I know. I'm going to take it to Annie Fry's house in the dream. And I said, Mom, why?
Why?
And she said, I don't know.
I haven't figured that one out yet.
And then so she takes it all to your house, and predictably, you were not happy about it.
Predictably.
You were like, why are you bringing all of this cheese to my house? And she could not answer that question. That was the fullness of the dream.
When she gets the full interpretation of that, I'd be curious to know.
We have a meeting scheduled with our pastor.
Follow-up question about cheese for the room. Do you have a cheese drawer in your refrigerator?
Yeah, but other things make their way in. Is that okay?
Depends on what.
Meats. Things that could go with cheese make their way in.
Raw meat?
No, deli meat. Not raw meat. Deli meats. Sausages, hot dogs, they all end up in the cheese drawer.
Is it a drawer that's 50% of the width of your fridge, or is it the full drawer?
It's the full wide width of the whole fridge.
You guys have a cheese drawer?
Yeah, it's a full drawer. There are things like bacon bits and, like Ryan was saying, like sausages and stuff like that in there.
So it's not a cheese drawer.
It's a many things drawer with the emphasis on cheese.
But we have a side-by-side, so it's not a big, full, wide drawer.
You need to answer this question because if my mom runs into that situation,
I have a
she's
cheese
going to
drawer.
need to know. Okay.
We have a dedicated cheese drawer.
Okay, good.
But it's the 50. They're labeled for fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I know. Like a joke. Come on. If it grows, it goes.
Those are at the bottom.
Half of it is cheese. Half of it is deli everything. And then we have the big full drawer that comes out. We put raw stuff in there. So if there's hot dogs or eggs or sausage or chicken that is thawing, it goes in there, and then the produce is up. But I've heard that a cheese drawer is a very Midwestern thing.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of proud of us then.
Next question. Actually, no. Next segment. Let's take a quick break, and we'll wrap it up here when we come back. The question we're asking you, and we want some of your text messages here on the Annie Fry Show text line, 314-241-9797. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? Too soon? Is it a funny joke? You thought it was an unfunny joke or totally tasteless? YouTube.com/@AnnieFry to vote in the poll and leave a comment. We love your texts at the Annie Fry Show text line, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute. The Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com. You thinking about retiring? I hope you are. It's a pretty fun and exciting time when that weather is getting the way it is today and you get outside and the gardening is start. You want to go all in and you want to spend your days doing things like that are just what you want to do and what you enjoy. Retirement might be right around the corner for you. And if you want to ensure that you've got a great plan so you can have a worry-free retirement, you need some people at the Retirement Advisory Group. Talk to Tammy Kershaw and Bob Kershaw. Talk to Thomas Helbig. These are the experts that help you transition from that place you are right now, a year or two away from retirement, maybe even just retired, into the place where you exhale, you breathe deeply and easily about what you get to do in retirement, enjoying the travel, the grandkids, the staying in place, whatever it is that you want. That worry-free retirement is at the end of this phone call, 314-993-9494. Online right now at retirementkey.com.
Jimmy Fallon in the house, and I cannot wait to see you finally, April 11th. Although we're not calling it a redo because we never did the thing in the first place. You can't have a sequel if you don't have an original. Get your tickets at 971talk.com/events.
Hi, it's Mark Cox with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Welcome back, Gloria. For years now, you've been on 97.1 helping families plan that next big move with your Guaranteed Sold program. For those planning to sell their home this year, what's your advice for sellers?
Thank you. My advice is simple. Do your homework before listing your home. Our market is stabilizing, inventory is tightening and moving fast. In other words, the realtor you choose to sell your home really matters. That's why my sellers love my Guaranteed Sale program. I guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or I will buy it myself. I have thousands of buyers in my buyers in waiting database, so your home may already been sold before it's ever hit the market. Higher demand, more competition, and more money for your home.
Friends, do what I did. Call Gloria Lou right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree upon price and possession date.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The results of today's YouTube poll about the President Trump Pearl Harbor remark here in about 3 minutes. We had another question from the Annie Fry Show text line.
Yeah, this says, question for the group. Where is the greatest place you've ever been for your anniversary? My wife and I are going to Hawaii in May for our 34th. Where's the greatest place you've ever been for your anniversary?
For an anniversary, I've never taken any trips.
What about just a restaurant or something like that? Anything that stands out?
Well, I mean, I guess we kind of went over Labor Day. Our anniversary is in the middle of September. So we took a trip to Orlando in 2020.
That's funny. My best one was 2020 also. But we just went to Louisville.
Yeah.
And it was just fun because it was open.
We were talking about going to Hawaii next year because it'll be our 20th. And your 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And your 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 year behind us.
In our own individual marriages.
Indeed.
It's just always having to add that.
I know. It's like at some point.
We don't want anybody confused here.
Yeah, right.
I think we went to 1818 Chop House, which is a really wonderful restaurant in Edwardsville. So I think that is a place that I would consider to be tops. I'm trying to think. It's just hard because it's September. So we're not super portable
Yeah,
at that time.
travel at that time.
We regularly would officiate a volleyball tournament on our anniversary weekend and make $800 or something.
Early in our marriage, we went to a restaurant I don't think is around anymore. Very fancy, called Tony's. Very famous St. Louis restaurant, right downtown.
Tony's isn't right here anymore?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Because I remember thinking, oh man, it's going away. But that restaurant, I hope it is still around because it was those are the best scallops I've ever eaten in my life. But in 2020, we drove to Louisville because we're like, oh, if we just get out of Illinois, just go somewhere that's just open enough.
Tony is the renowned, long-standing fine dining Italian restaurant in the St. Louis area. Permanently closed its Clayton, Missouri location in February 15th of 2025. That's not the place you're talking about?
No, it was downtown. But I think that one may have gone away too. But we went to Louisville and we stayed at just a nice horse farm, like an Airbnb, and we just kind of went out to eat and stuff. But the thing I remember the most about it, and this isn't anniversary related, just it was time period related, was driving through downtown Louisville at that time. Because there were so many nice areas where you go through downtown, spray paint, vandalism everywhere because it was in the middle of 2020, the summer of love. The Breonna Taylor thing had happened there. So it was chaos, but we weren't in the mid. It was kind of the aftermath of it.
I think I went to the Bourbon Festival in Louisville, maybe in September for our anniversary. That might have, I don't know if that was in September, but that would have been that was a great trip, even though it rained a lot. You anywhere exciting, Brad?
No, our anniversary falls in the middle of the school year, and Terry cannot get away from school. She can't just take vacation and go during that time period, and so we have never gone away for our anniversary. I know that for our honeymoon, we went to Hawaii, which was fantastic, as you know, Annie. But our favorite restaurant is called Gulf Shores. It's up in Edwardsville, and we like that Cajun seafood stuff.
The YouTube live chat poll for today. We're wrapping it up here with 212 votes. How do you feel about President Trump's Pearl Harbor remark? It was a funny joke, unfunny joke, or tasteless? Ryan, your thought?
Tasteless.
Tasteless?
Yeah.
Brad?
I heard it live and I laughed a little bit to myself, so I'm going to say funny joke.
Funny joke. I'm going to say it was an unfunny joke. So all three of us here, 82% of y'all think it was a funny joke. So it's a pretty clear response from the Annie Fry Show audience today. 8% said unfunny joke, and 11% agree with Ryan and say it's tasteless. Unlike the fish fry with the Mark Reardon Show, go see him. Tell him the Annie Fry Show says hi when you show up.
I'm not
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Go old school to save money on weekends. Pay with cash because plastic is designed to make it easier to spend.
To remove the pain of paying from our psyches.
Financial planner Ed Jertson says leave your credit card at home the next time you go out.
Spend cash for everything you can.
That way, you only go as far as the money in your wallet.
When you're out of cash, your night's over. And so don't break out the credit card.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented